My name is Abna Osei Asare, Member of Parliament for Itiwa East and the Chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee. Thank you.
Could we get the auditors to introduce themselves, please?
My name is Patricia Dako, Assistant Auditor General, Audit Service.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Michael Ado, Assistant Auditor General, Audit Service.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Kwajo Shreme, Assistant Auditor General, Audit Service.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is William Ejei, Assistant Auditor General, Audit Service. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we'll call Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Those of you who will be answering questions would want you to come forward and take an oath to tell the truth. So we'll call those from Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation, Office of the Administrator of Stew Lands, Forestry Commission, Lands Commission, and Minerals Commission. So you come forward, you take the oath, and then you go and sit down, and we will take Ghana Integrated Aluminum as the first one. So please come forward. Oh, but they will be under. Yeah, we are doing lands first.
Yes, but they are under environment. You will take environment
And then environment, there are a lot of.
So let the CSIR.
Okay, those also with Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology. So National Biosafety Authority, Nuclear Regulatory Authority, Environmental Protection Agency, Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Building and Road Research Institute, and then the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Oil Research Institute, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Science and Technology Policy Research, then CSIR also on animal research, CSIR on food research, and then on water research, and then plant and genetic research, CSIR. So all of you, oh, and then CSIR for forestry research, and CSIR for savanna agricultural research. So all of you take the oath, please. Yes. Did I miss that one? Oh, okay. Sorry about Ghana Atomic Energy. They should be part.
Swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, so Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation. Please sit down. Honorable Minister, could you and your delegation introduce yourself, please?
Chair, my name is Suleiman Yusuf. I represent my hardworking minister, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and also the Minister holding the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology. This morning he has other very important official activities, and so he's asked me to humbly apologize for his inability to be here in person. But just to assure you that he has prepared me adequately with my people to be able to respond to your issues. I'll now allow my officers to introduce themselves, except to say that the CEO of GIADEC is also with the minister for some assignments. He'll be joining us. But the officers here are capable of responding to the issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, good morning. My name is Grace Kokomensa. I am the Finance Controller.
Honorable members, my name is Isaac Riverson, Legal.
Honorable Chairman, my name is Kingsley Nro, Procurement Manager.
The last gentleman, you just mentioned your name. What do you do?
Legal. Legal, yes.
All right. So let's start with your financial performance, please. Looking at looking at 2022. This is paragraph 743, page 171. Government of Ghana, your Government of Ghana gave you 17 million in 2022. Then it jumped to 28 million. Why such a big increase?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Over the years, we have always had constraints with funding. So there are years that, depending on how government inflows are, we get enough. In the year 2022 was a very challenging year. And so I recall that budgets were cut even twice. So by the end of the year, we couldn't get what we required. And that is why it was so low, 70 million. In 2023, it was a better story for the state. And so we ended up getting more than we had in 2022.
But your compensation was only 16 million.
Sorry, question again.
The compensation of employees, what you use out of it for employees was 16 million.
Yes, please.
Now, goods and services, why such a huge difference between 2022 and 2023?
Okay. So when activities are planned and we do not get funding in that year to undertake them, we end up deferring them. Now, the effect on the mandates we are delivering is that it delays the projects. So in this year, we plan to do a lot in 2022. But because the funding didn't come in good time, we deferred them into 2023. So it's the activities that is driving the cost.
Okay. Now, let's go to your financial position. Your current ratio is, as of 2023, was 0.6 to 1, which is an improvement from 2022. What is the status now?
All right. So the status is similar to how we ended 2023. Now, the background to our financials is that GIADEC, although we are about 98% subvented by government, we have adopted the accrual basis of accounting. So we end up booking transactions that are non-cash on the financials. Example, like depreciation, receivables that you anticipate, accruals that you intend to pay. So if you look on the financial, you realize that in that year, 2023, the ratio improved because receivables were higher. And the receivables were basically funds that we were expecting from controller, which delayed. So as of 31st December, there were BTAs with controller, which were paid in January. And going by the financial calendar, of the state, we needed to book them as incoming flows into 2023. So that's what's driving the ratio coming down.
But auditors, I thought most of the agencies were going to cash basis instead of accruals. Or the other way around? The other way around.
Yes, please.
Okay, so you've gone to
If
accruals.
that's accrual accounting.
Okay. All right. It means you are all awake. Now let's go to management issues, starting from paragraph 751. Honorable Ahinkwa will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, management awarded 18 contracts totaling 1,905,847 for the procurement of goods, works, and services. However, these contracts were not processed through the Ghana Electronic Procurement System. So this was discovered by the auditors. And management response was that the PPA is organizing a training section for the staff of GIADEC to be able to roll out their programs on the GANEPS. What I want to ask is, does it mean your staff there were not privy to the GANEP system or didn't have any knowledge at all about the system? Since your response is that a PPA is now organizing the training section for them to be able to implement the GANEP system, it baffles my mind. I want to know.
Yes, so the information available is that when PPA installed the system, he has to subsequently train the staff to be able to roll it out. So at a point, PPA installed the system, but didn't offer the training. And so GIADEC was even following up, asking them to come and train them so that they are able to roll the system out. Unfortunately, they weren't coming. And they couldn't also stop work. And so that accounted for all these ones being paid without going through the GANEP system. Subsequently, when they were trained, as we speak, all their transactions are now going through the system.
Okay. Management said they will take steps to do the needful. Auditors, they are claiming now they've begun enrolling the activities on the system. Is it true?
Honorable Chair, our follow-up indicates that they now process their transactions on the GANEPS. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I think.
All right. Thank you very much. Ghana. Okay, madam, you have a follow-up.
So, GIADEC, can you give us an update of what you are doing now? When I say what you are doing now, I'm talking about the hardcore things, the where you are. Was it the Awuya or? Yes. So yes. So if you can give us an update on where you are with the processes to start making some money for yourself and winning yourself off governments once you start
All right, thank you, Honorable.
getting in some influence.
So following the change in government, there's been a bit of change to our strategy. In the past, the plan was for us to identify strategic partners, work with them, do the mining, and then share profits at the bottom. The significant change here is that we are looking more towards production sharing now. And so we are identifying partners in line with the change in strategy who would mine and then we share the products, or we share profits at the top line, which for me is a better option for the state. And so where we are now is that we've identified some investors who are aligning to this new strategy, and we are going through the processes to get them to start work. If you recall, recently it was in the news that we have been assigned 6 mining leases. Now the leases are in the name of GIADEC, so it makes it easier for us to get partners on board to start work. It makes the process faster. So that's where we are now.
Previously, what was the strategy? Please.
Previously, we will get a strategic partner who assign the consignment to you. You will go through it. You bring your 70% introduction. We will bring our 30% and form a joint venture. We manage the joint venture. At the end of the day, we prepare accounts and we share dividend. So that's at the bottom line.
And then this time you are ceding everything to the new person, or now you have everything and then you are going around shopping looking for?
We have everything. Yes. And we are going around. You mine and then we share at the top line.
Or you get a partner, they mine, and then you share at the top line, not the bottom line?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Chair, just to add, what is currently happening is that these leases that were given to GIADEC in their name will soon be brought to Parliament for ratification. It is when these leases are ratified that we can now say that they wholly own them and that investors will be more than willing to come and partner them. And so very soon, we will be calling on members of Parliament to assist the ministry and, for that matter, GIADEC, to ratify these leases. So it's just an information I'm passing through that very soon will be coming to you. And I know that you will accept us and help us to ratify them. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Dr. Jessa.
Thank you, Chair. I just like to take you back to paragraph 753 on the 18 contracts that didn't go through the GANEP system. I'm curious, the quantum of money involved is quite huge, 1.9 million. What other procurement methods did you use to secure these contracts for the beneficiaries? I see their names listed here. You didn't go through GANEP, so how did you procure them?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Before the inception of GANEP's procurement was, being done, the methods are already in existence as per the law. We have the request for quotations, we have the national competitive tendering, we have the single source, we have the RT. These are the methods that we used in procuring the goods, works, and services. It's just unfortunate that it was not undertaken on GANEPS, which is a platform or a system where the activity is supposed to be done. But in terms of documentation, with regards to method, everything, you can see from the report that the auditors didn't question the methods and the systems that we used.
Chair, thank you for the lecture on procurement methods. My question is not what the auditors wrote or not what the auditors didn't write. I'm asking, what procurement method did you use in these specific transactions? I want to know, please.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Oh, thank you, Honorable Chairman. If you pick the items or the contracts one by one, you can see a procurement number indicated, and then within that procurement number, you can see that JR, I'm taking the number one, JR GIADEC GDS PKO 011-2023. The GDS is goods, and the PKO is price quotation. So each activity or each contract that we have there, you will see the method that was used in the procurement number there.
So your answer is price quotation?
For each specific, you can see the specific method that was used for a particular assignment. So if I have to go through, I can go through it.
What is the TS?
Okay, yes, that's fine.
Doc, for instance, if you go through, you realize that it was not one specific procurement method that was used. Yes, so there are various various procurement methods that were used. And so, for instance, if you take let's say number 6, National Competitive Tendering was used, NCT. And so it goes on and on for all the procurement activities that took place within that period.
Okay, Chair, I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me use a proper name over here. Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation. You are discharged. Now let's call Office of the Administrator of Stool Lands. That's paragraph 758. Could you please introduce yourself to the committee?
Good morning, honorable members. My name is Gad Asowe Akwensivie. I'm the acting administrator of Stool Lands.
Good morning, Honorable Chairman. My name is Felix Kwachikwenu, the head of accounts.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Ebenezer Atta. I'm responsible for policy planning.
Okay, Honorable Ernestenim will go through the financials with you, please.
Thank you, Chair. Office of the Administrator of Stool Lands, we would first consider your financial performance. Then after we go into the financial position. So I'm looking at your accounts for 2022 and 2023. I can see that the bottom line on the financial performance was an improvement over 2022. I want us to look at your internally generated funds. What items constitute your internally generated? Where do you get them from? The sources of the IGF.
Thank you very much, honorable member. Our main sources of income are from ground rents that we receive from lessees of stool lands. Our other internally generated funds come from forest royalty, mineral royalty, and then farm tributes. Thank you.
I can see that for 2023, there was almost about an 8% improvement on your IGF. What accounted for that improvement?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. In 2023, we did some system improvement, including recruitment of staff and then acquisition of some fixed assets, specifically motorcycles, so that we could reach out to our stakeholders, who are supposed to pay the respective revenue sources as mentioned by the acting administrator.
Are you able to tell us your staff strength for 2022 as against 2023? Because I see a jump of about 70% in compensation of employees. So can you tell us whether there was an increase in staff strength or there was introduction of bonuses, whatever went in there? Can you explain to us?
Thank you very much, honorable member. The jump in the compensation amount can be attributed to a number of factors. The first of it was some cost of living allowance that was given by governments in the year. We had about 5 of our staff being promoted to the director level, and the payment of arrears and their compensation accounted for that. And in that year, we recruited 10 new officers. And so these account for the jump in the amount for compensation.
Okay, so Office of Administrator, looking at the percentage change in the compensation of employees, as against what you earlier mentioned, the IGF improvement, I expect that once we have this quantum increase, it should also reflect in your operations, and that should also reflect in the revenue that is coming to the institution. So we need to do more on that aspect going forward. Yes. Then I think we'll go to goods and services. I think it wasn't so much. But then let me find out what was in the other receipts. Because you have IGF, so what is the other receipts here?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The other receipt had to do with sale of tender documents. There were certain tenders floated in a year, and it came from there.
Okay, so we now move to your financial position. Your non-current assets went up by about 32.7. What acquisition was made within your PPEs?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. In the year, we acquired motorcycles. The nature of our operation is that we operate across the country. In fact, we are supposed to operate throughout the 261 MMDs. Right now, we haven't been able to cover all, but within the areas of operation, we acquired motor vehicles, motorcycles, and then vehicles for our regional offices so that they can reach the hinterlands where we can get our ground rent and farm rent, among others.
Okay, so that leads me back to the same point I made. We are buying motorbikes and doing all these things, but then what comes in as revenue is still not comparable to what we are spending in terms of compensation, in terms of motor equipment that we are acquiring. So I think that, Minister, we need to look into it because there was a 70% here, almost a 33% here, and that only accounted for a 7.5% increase in revenue. So that's one area we need to look into. Minister, so I think, Chair, I'll leave it for you.
Chair, just to clarify the concern that he raised, it depends on when the motorcycles were purchased. If they were purchased closer to the end of the year, then the benefit will come in the subsequent year. So the expectation is that 2024, there should be some improvement. That will take note of that.
Minister, we'll take your word. 2024, we'll be looking out for more increases within our revenue streams. So this is a commitment from Minister. Since the capital outlay came at the latter end of the year, so 2024, we'll see more coming from Office of Administrator of Stool Land. Thank you, Minister.
Chair, that is the expectation. But there are other factors that can drill these efforts of bringing in more revenue. If you were to hold all other factors constant, then your analysis is something that we can go with. But if there are other factors that may affect the activities of the organization and that they won't be able to...
Minister, can you enumerate some of the other factors so that we can see the mitigation methods to put in place? So if you can list some of them for us.
There are factors that you can't easily identify, and there are some factors that force majeure can bring them on board.
The ones that we can easily identify.
So the ones that you can easily identify, for instance, if you have a situation where your goods and services that were supposed to be released for you to be able to get fuel, okay, and to give allowances to the staff who are supposed to use these motorbikes to be able to bring in the money. If the money is not released, how would they be able to do it? Okay?
Minister, you are the sector minister for Office of the Administrator, and these are issues that can be managed at that level. Release of goods and services. You can talk to your colleague Minister of Finance so that releases can be on time, so they will be able to work efficiently to bring in the revenue that they expect to work with. So these are things that are under your control. So they are not beyond your control, Minister.
I'm saying that our expectation, and as a ministry, we'll do our best possible, lobby the finance minister, lobby whosoever matters, so that they will be able to release the money for us to do the job and bring in the expected revenue. In the event that we are unable to convince the Minister of Finance, because there may be other constraints that may not allow him to be able to release the money on time. If that happens, you cannot take my word here and say that I'm committing myself that there will be an increase in revenue because we have purchased motorbikes.
You are right, Minister. But let me ask this. What kind of releases are you expecting from Ministry of Finance?
Just before I respond to your question, I'm told that the 2024 revenue has gone up, meaning that, you know, we are on course. Yes.
Who is supposed to be collecting? No. What do you expect from Ministry of Finance? What kind of releases are those?
No, so for instance, we expect to get the mineral royalties from them. MDF is supposed to transfer some monies to Stuland as and when they get money from Ministry of Finance. So if Ministry of Finance does not transfer the money to MDF, MDF cannot also transfer to the Stulands. And that's where the problem will come on board. But we are hoping that things will take form and we will encounter such problems.
All right, Minister. I was just glancing through the Constitution. Article 267. And let me jump to 2. Clause 2 over here. There shall be established the office of the administrator of Stulands, which shall be responsible for A. It says the establishment of a school land account for each of the stool within which shall be paid all rent, dues, royalties, revenues, or other payments, whether in the nature of income or capital from the stool lands. Then B, it says, Stulands, you are responsible to collect all of such rents, dues, royalties, revenues, and other payments, whether in the nature of income or capital, and to account for them to the beneficiaries specified in Clause 6 of this article. The B is what I'm interested in. You are supposed to collect these. Is someone else collecting it and giving you your share?
Honorable Chair, thank you for the question. We have always made the argument that we are supposed to be collecting mineral royalty, but we have been told that the GRA, who is the government's tax collector, should collect royalty, which has been termed tax. And so that is the reason why GRA has been collecting this. But we still will pursue an interpretation of this constitution, and hopefully we should get the authority to collect that directly.
Because what I read was from the 1992 Constitution. You were supposed to collect some royalties, revenues, and dues and rents. I don't know how it turned to be that way, but let's let this question hang and see how it changed from Stulands to GRA. I wouldn't want that argument to start now, but it's in the Constitution. I don't know if it's been amended. No. And if it has, I don't know about it. And there should be an amendment. There's, and I've given you guys a clue.
Thank you. This issue came up, and the first observation was that for now, Stuland doesn't have the platform across the country to be able to mobilize the revenue. But we do agree with you that going forward, we will put in place that platform and then ensure that we go by the details of the Constitution, so the institution can have the right to reach out to those who are supposed to pay these royalties and fees and take it from them. Thank you.
All right, sir. Stu Lance, I think you are done. You are discharged. Now let's go Forestry Commission. Please introduce yourself to the committee, please.
I am Innocent Halligan, the Acting Chief Director.
Honorable Chair, I'm Hugh Adokwe Brown, the Chief Executive of the Commission.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. I'm Samuel Ode, Director of Finance, Forestry Commission.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Carl Ahaji. I'm the Director, Internal Audit, Forestry Commission.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Gordon Safuedu, Acting Executive Director, Forest Services Division of the Commission. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. I'm Kujo Audi, Director, Corporate Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, Forestry Commission.
Okay. Honorable Enim Enes will go through the financials with you, please.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Forestry Commission will be looking at your financial performance and your financial position. I can see from the financial performance that we are seeing some improvement from the surplus we have for 2022, which was about 30 million, but then for 2023, the surplus is now down to about 2.8 million. So there is some bit of improvement from that point, although it's not what we are expecting to arrive at. I want us to look at a few things. On the income side, improvement from 30 to 2. Yes, we are still at a deficit position of 2.8. So we need to do more subsequent years to at least bring it to a positive surplus figure. That's what we are looking at. So for internally generated funds, you went up by about 13.3%. Can you tell us what other measures you put in place to be able to get up to that point?
I think management put in place, especially with the ecotourism, we had to increase funds to boost ecotourism in the wildlife parks and in the zoos. So that one is one. Then with the Forestry Commission too, we increased the monitoring activities so that the illegal went down, so that we also get more funds. Yeah, those are the things.
So as we are struggling to return to a positive surplus figure, I see here some expenditure increases which are quite significant. For project expenditure, it went up by about 323%. And between 2022 and 2023, over 35 million. What accounted for all this increase?
Honorable Chair, the Commission is financed primarily by government who pays our compensation, our IGF, and donor-funded projects. We were able to get on board new projects like the Ghana Savannah Landscape Emission Reduction Program, and then another one with Talo. So these projects came on board with new activities and new funding to finance our operations. And that accounted for the huge jump in the project expenditure.
Okay, so let me go into your youth in afforestation program. Yeah. I can see that for 2022, there was a payment of almost 127 million, and 2023, it reduced to 62 million. I want to understand, as at this year, how much of the arrears do we still have? Because there's been a number of complaints around youth in afforestation program. And there's been some bit of complaints coming from a lot of these young people that were involved in that program. The committee wants to know how much of that debt is still outstanding, because if it went down from 127 to 62, it means that you've made significant progress. So can you update the committee on where we are with the youth in afforestation program?
Honorable Chair, the Youth in Afforestation Program commenced in 2018, and it was phased out March 2025. At the time of phasing out the program, we were in arrears of almost 17 months' salaries or allowances, and the amount due was about 45 million. This has been duly audited by government, and we've received assurance that it will be paid in due time.
The assurance to the young people, young Ghanaians who are involved in youth afforestation is that the arrears have been audited and that they will be duly paid at the end of the year. Is that the assurance we are getting?
Let me put this in context. There's an amount of money that was supposed to be paid in 2023. And I repeat, in 2023, government was supposed to pay this amount of money. Government wasn't able to pay. And so it rolled on until 2025. And we are saying that the figures that were quoted and verified, about 45 million was supposed to be paid. So you see that the figure is 62 because those payments were not made. And so we are saying that we have now started with a new program called Tree for Life, which is more or less a continuation of the previous one. And some youths were also engaged, and even some of those who were part of the old system were engaged because of the experience they have. As and when government is able to raise money, government will pay the debts. Just as it was difficult for the money to be paid from 2023 up to 2024, we pray that that difficulty doesn't reoccur so that we are able to pay.
Minister, thank you for your assurance that government will take steps to pay these arrears. And government is a continuum. So once one government leaves, another government comes to continue. And the expectation is that it will carry from where the other left off. That is well understood. One other line I want to look at is your depreciation charge. Here, there is a negative change, which means that there was a reduction in your depreciation charge. I want to understand, were there any disposals within that period, or what accounted for the drop in the depreciation charge?
There were no disposals, but some of the items have completed a life distance, so they have been fully depreciated, so these ones are taken out.
So can you give us some of the assets that you had fully depreciated, and what was the outcome of the scrap value and all that? Yes.
Chair, I mean, from where we sit, and you know we have sworn oath, it will be difficult for him to mention all the assets that have been depreciated fully, and to also go ahead to give you the values. we can provide this subsequently.
Respectively, we have the finance team here, and they have all the records. I know that it's 2023, but I believe that they met some finance people when they took over. So they should be able to tell us, because anybody who sees this job will definitely think that, oh, there were some disposals, there were some, it's huge. So we just need to understand, Minister, this is just for the public to know. So if you don't know, you tell us, you come back to us, then you give us all the details.
Chairman, I think when they say that we've fully distributed the item, doesn't mean that it's not in use. They are in use. Vehicles, 5 years, is fully depreciated, but they are still in use.
That was exactly the question I asked.
Yes.
What is
They are
the
still in
position
use.
of these? Okay.
Yeah, they are still in use.
If they are still in use, that's well understood. Yes. And Minister, oh no. I asked where those items are, where those assets are. So since they are still in use,
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Yes.
All right. Honorable Abena Osiasare. Oh, you are not done.
I see here some good additions in 2023, about 9 million. What additions were added to your fleet of assets?
Some vehicles were bought. Some vehicles were bought, but there were not many. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think your current ratio to not bad, 1.3. You still maintain that same 1.3, and would encourage that because of the law situation we've had within the 2 years, 2022, 2023, we've seen some bit of improvement. But then, Minister, as you are here, Forestry Commission is a big commission, so we shouldn't be reporting losses every now and then. So there should be prudent management practices in place so that at least we can improve upon our bottom line going forward. Thank you. Chair, you-
Yes, thank you very much. The CEO said that the youth hadn't been paid, youth in afforestation hadn't been paid for 17 months or so. But if you would recall, when you started this program, you were paid 20 million a month. And so in that whole year, government had to look for 240 million. It got to a time, I think the burden was too much for government. So government said, bring your accounts. Let me see how you spend the 20 million every month. And then I'm speaking from the fact that I was at Ministry of Finance. And then we realized that there were cutlasses in there were Wellington boots in there. So government decided to reduce the amount by that quantum because government felt that they couldn't pay. There's no way you can buy Wellington boots monthly, cutlasses monthly for the same group of people. And so, as far as I know, the monies were reduced to that extent. So when you even look at 2022, it was 127, 2023, 62 million. So it was not that nothing was paid at all. But I know that they were reduced to take care of the cutlasses, the Wellington boots, and certain things that government felt that you couldn't be spending monthly on these things. So let's put that in perspective. And clearly you can tell from your accounts that it wasn't that no monies were being paid, but it was reduced from 127 in 2022 to 62.5 million in 2023. And I believe that when you pick your 2024 accounts, I can say without a doubt that there was no zero payment. There was zero payment? Yes. There's no way government will not invest some amount of money in programs that they have put in place. And so to say that for 17 months they were not being paid, they were not enough based on submissions that were made that we felt that certain items should be taken off the books. But to say that for 17 months they were not paid, when in 2024 I can say without a doubt that even if it's a dime, something was paid. All we are saying is that it's the same pot of money. And so when these monies are given to you, what government wants to see is the efficient utilization of it, such that where they feel that you can adjust and to make some room for improvements, government will also adjust the payment to let it reflect that. That, as far as I know, that is what happened. But I can't say that we paid, everything was paid. But as far as I know, when these engagements were had with them, and we realized that certain items were being purchased monthly, then government decided to reduce the payment of that 20 million to reflect certain items that were taken out of it. So yes, not fully, but it was paid to reflect based on the engagements that we had. Because we all know that it's the same pot of money that is being used to pay for school feeding program, SHS, and equally important items on the budget. So I'm not speaking, I'm speaking as a citizen of this country and for someone who also had knowledge because of the experience I gained in working at the Ministry of Finance. Thank you.
Let me come in first. Let me thank the chair for this information. We will learn lessons from this. We will ensure that we audit payments before we pay, so that you don't pay after some time and I realize that Wellington booths and other things were inserted there. If the payments are to be made at the very beginning, we'll do the auditing and ensure that this doesn't reoccur. But also the fact is that the Ministry of Finance has audited the books that they have brought to us. And the information available is that we owe these young men and women 17 months. That is on record. And we are finding a way of paying them. So nobody is saying that there was no any payment. We are saying, yes, there were payments, but there were also debts. And that we have accepted the debts, and we are making an effort to pay those debts. And as I said, on record, 17 months were not paid. That is a fact.
Minister, we are not disputing that fact. All I'm saying is that in 2024, some monies were made available for payment. So 2024 is 12 months, and then 2025, we are in October, and that is 22 months. And so I can't, in 2025, this particular, the previous government was not in power, and it's not in power, so I cannot speak to 2025. But what I can speak to with a fact is that in 2024, I'm not disputing the 17 months, but what I'm saying is that in 2024, some payments were made, and when you look into their books, I'm sure in 2024, when Forestry Commission is audited and they bring that, you will still see Youth in Afforestation Program, and you see an amount. And the Finance Director has also confirmed that, yes, monies were paid. They may not be adequate, but monies were paid. It's just an advice that I'm giving to you and putting it out there as it is, that the monies were reduced based on certain audits that were done or engagements that were done after payments were made. Not to dispute that 17 months is on hold, but all I'm saying is that 2024 to 2025 October is 22 months. So it may happen that, yes, part payments were not done, and even in this particular year, some payments haven't been done, and that's how come it comes to 17 months. But I can say for a fact that in 2024, there was no zero payments. There was some payments.
If I may, CEO to throw more lights on this so we can settle it very well and learn some lessons out of it.
Okay. Honorable Chair, indeed, every year that we run that program, monies were paid. And I can confirm that in 2024, monies were paid. But the monies that were paid in 2024 were used to pay arrears as far back as 2022, late 2022. So we're receiving money, but if for a whole year you receive money that can pay only 3 months, you pay for 3 months. It means there will be 9 months outstanding. But monies were released every year. The issue about logistics, beyond the 45, which is the outstanding for the allowances, we also have outstanding for seedlings that were used by these same beneficiaries in carrying out the reforestation exercise. That's about 32 million or so for seedlings alone. We also needed to purchase uniforms and PPEs for them, and that's what Honorable was referring to, that to get youth in the field to plant trees and to protect forests, they need to be clothed. And they were also carrying out reforestation, which requires seedlings. So seedlings were purchased. So thank you.
So in all, it's about 88 million. I mean, net to about 79 million has been verified, and we are working to see if we can pay. Yes. That's the debt. That's the debt we inherited.
Thank you very much. My follow-up question is with regards to the quantum of amount being spent on seedlings and all that. How is the Green Ghana project doing? The trees that you have planted, how are they doing?
You and I were not there, so you talk.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Green Ghana program, as was implemented, cut across different programs. We were undertaking what we call trees on farm, where farmers are given seedlings to plant within their farming systems. We were undertaking plantations within degraded forest reserves. And then we were also doing the amenity one, which was the one that was mostly highlighted, where seedlings were given to individuals, groups, schools, etc., to plant. From the last assessment, which was done last year. This year, unfortunately, we haven't been able to do an assessment. For the first year planting, we were hovering around 67, 68% survival. And for the 2024, we had over 80% survival. I need to point out that for most of the planting done in the latter years, which was 2023, 2024, we moved most of the target to the forest reserves, where most of us will not be privy to. What we see is the roadside plantings and the schools, etc. We realized that it was a better use of our national resources, targeting degraded forest reserves and planting them out. And these are available for anyone who wants to inspect them. They are doing well.
As a forestry commission, do you have capacity in terms of seedling? Because you are saying you are buying seedling. Your institution, do you have capacity?
We do, but it's limited. If you look at this year's budget, of the 30 or so million that we're expecting to be planted, the Forestry Commission raised 7 million from our nurseries. We also had a dip in our capacity because a number of the youth in afforestation beneficiaries were supporting the nurseries. So once we phased out that program in March, we had limited capacity. We could have done about maybe 10 or 11 million if we had.
So what strategies are you putting in place to increase that?
We've taken on board the youth forest champions, as we call them, under the Tree for Life reforestation initiative. And many of them have been assigned, except that they came in a bit late. And we are expecting that with their introduction, we should be able to boost seedling production at our nurseries come 2026. We are also working with communities because this is a pro-poor intervention. We train communities, they raise seedlings, government buys from them, they get some income. It might even help sway some of them from doing illegal mining. So we see this as something that should be done solely by Forestry Commission, but we should engage communities and use it as an alternative livelihood, a green alternative livelihood for communities.
I would like to find out from, do you have staff at the port, Tema Port?
Yes, we do have officials of the Timber Industry Development Division at the Tema Port and then at the airport as well.
So the woods that are confiscated, how do you dispose them?
We have not done any confiscation at the port in a long while, but usually when timber is confiscated, it's auctioned.
Talking in regards to rosewood, that is why. Because rosewood is passing the port. That is why I have asked that question.
To the best of my knowledge, this country banned the exportation of rosewood maybe 2.5 years now.
I have opportunity of going to the port myself and I saw rosewood in a container.
recently.
That is why.
Then I may have to contact you to take some information from you, because to the best of our knowledge, rosewood is not leaving our ports. It's not even been harvested or transported. We don't permit it.
All right.
So maybe there's some smuggling going on. I would like to have some more information on that.
Yeah.
Chair, I think we will want to have a private conversation with the Member of Parliament so that he will lead us to the source of these exports of rosewood, because for us at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, there's a ban on the exportation of rosewood. And so if it's still ongoing, and thank God we have gotten an honorable Member of Parliament to know where and who is doing it, we will link up with him and take the necessary action.
Honorable Minister, I think we'll get him to get in touch with you. But I was very much interested in what Honorable Abena Osei-Asare said, that at the time of this youth in afforestation, government of that time was paying 20 million every month for this program. And then when they did an audit, they found out that every month they were buying cutlasses. They asked them to bring the payments. And every month they were buying cutlasses. Every month they were buying Wellington boots. That's why those kids were not paid. And so what the ministry at that time did was to reduce the amount to where they thought it should be. And then that was when they were using some of the money to pay arrears. Hey, Abensika. Okay, now let's move on.
Chairman, I think it's important to confirm what the chairperson said. I've just been told, and for me, I say it when I'm supposed to say it, regardless, that this happened during the time of the late Sir John, where cutlasses and Wellington boots were bought on monthly basis. Thereafter, it was corrected. And as we speak, even before this new administration took over, that practice had stopped. And so we should put it on record.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We are talking about 2022, 2023. Now let's go to management issues, and Honorable Cletus will take care of that one. It's on paragraph 774.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction is about Abandoned Zebra Day project. Forest Commission, can you explain to the committee what happened about this project? Just explain to us.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Sometime in 2021, the Commission awarded a contract to one extravagant company limited to the tune of 36,000 Ghana cedis to construct an animal dip for the zebras at the Shire Hills Resource Reserve. The contract was duly executed and the company was paid. However, it was later found out that there were cracks in the structure and a portion of the structure was caving in. So the contractor was brought in to repair the damage. Indeed, I need to put on record that at that point, the defect liability period had expired, but the Commission was able to bring in the contractor to repair the damage. Unfortunately, after some time, he abandoned the project. Just when the Commission was considering the way forward, the Wildlife Division also produced a memo which showed that they needed a redesign of the structure to make it more appropriate because the behavior of the zebras had changed and then the numbers had also increased. We are at the stage where we now have a new design and we are looking at going through the right processes to award a contract for a construction of a new zebra dip for the Shire Hills resource.
I asked you to explain because the auditors did not state the cost of the project, so I just wanted you to bring it out so that we know that it is 36,000 Ghana cedis. So, Chairman, by this explanation, I'm done.
All right. Honorable Abena Osiasari has something to say.
Thank you very much. This is just a word of caution and an advice to all of us. You see, when you are the CEO, you are the head of an institution, it is very, very convenient that if anything goes wrong, it is you. It is you that will be held responsible. Meanwhile, you may not be the only signatory to the accounts. You may not be you may not even be the person to initiate certain processes. So it's just a caution to all of us. It is very, very convenient for the other directors and the people there to just put all the blame, if anything should happen, on the CEO because it is deemed that you are the head of the place. And so as you are taking decisions, please reconsider and consider to see if truly you are going according to the public financial management guidelines laid out for you. Because tomorrow, you may not be there. And to be very, very, very convenient for the people you worked with to say that it is person A who took all the decision and did everything. Meanwhile, the signatories to the accounts will not be just one person, not be the CEO, but will be one person and another. And so please, let's be very, very careful and make sure we do the right thing so that our actions will be above board. This is just by way of caution to all of us. Today, it may be Abena. Tomorrow, it may be you. And so, just a word of advice to all of us. Thank you.
All right, Forestry Commission, you are discharged. Now let's go to Lands Commission. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Honorable Chair, my name is Anthony Owusu Ansah, the Acting Executive Secretary. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, my name... the professor. I'm told you are professor. You are a proper professor from KNUST.
Yes, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
And Roman soldier as well.
We don't want any issues from GTEC.
This is not from GTEC. He came from KNUST. Proper professor.
Honorable Chair, my name is Christian Osei Amiel, Head of Finance, Lands Commission.
Honorable Chair, I'm Jimano Adansi Bona, Deputy Executive Secretary, Corporate Service.
Okay, let's review your financial performance. And 2022, there wasn't any consumption of fixed assets. Is that so? And 2023 have 4.7 million.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Why that you didn't spread it out?
Honorable Chair, the 2022 is where Ghana decided to go for the full rollout of the International Public Standard accounting practices. Unfortunately, the FACU team could not gather all the legal assets within the 2022. So the full implementation, as far as Lands Commission is concerned, started in 2023. And we need to make provision under the FSAS 17.
Okay. Now, looking at, this is all on expenditure. Social benefits, 2022 it was 3.9 million. And then 2023 it was 571,000. Why?
Honorable Chair, in 2022, as far as the commission is concerned, we entered a new phase where we decided to embark on the digitalization agenda and improving the processes. So management took it upon itself to look into the improvement and where we think that expenditure can be cut so that we can conserve more for the agenda we have set for ourselves. So new policy was introduced in that direction where, especially in terms of social benefit, which mostly relates to medical refunds we have been doing to members, we restrict ourselves only to government facilities and reduce the refund to 50% to the beneficiaries. And this reduced drastically the cost of social benefit within the year under consideration.
Why such a huge increase in compensation of employees?
Honorable Chair, I think this is due to the increment in salaries because of the minimum wage was increased within the year under review as one of them. And also some staff were also promoted, raised to directorship grade, so there were increments in their salary. So this account for that.
Now let's look at your financial position. It went from 9.5 to 1 to 1.6 to 1. What trend are we following?
Honorable Chair, I think you are talking about the current ratio. Okay.
Exactly so, sir.
Yes, please. The year 2022, the current liabilities were 960,000, and this increased to 9.6, even though the non-current assets have increased. Sorry, the current assets have increased. The reason why the current liabilities increase is because we are unable to make some payment as a result of Ghana Shield order in our accounts. From the year 2023 coming, we have the money in the accounts, but we are unable to touch the money due to some of these legal issues. So that accounts for increment in the liabilities and hence a reduction in the current ratio, which show our liquidity level. Thank you.
So what is the current trend now?
Still, we do have almost all our accounts Ghana Shield.
Lands Commission?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Why?
This is due to compensation issues. Prior to Act 1036, which was promulgated in 2020, the Land Commission is mandated to acquire land for any public agency. So prior to Act 1036, when we do the acquisition, the agency is supposed to pay. And we were asked to do the acquisition before the payment could be made. So now, acquisitions were made, but these agencies are not sending the money for us to go and do the payment. But after 2020, the Act 1036 saw this, and they stated in the Act that before we even do the acquisition, the agency should deposit the money into an escrow account before the acquisition is done. So after 2020, to a little extent, that is solved. But before then, we still have a lot of outstanding compensation claims, which the Commission is not able to pay because we are the acquiring authority, but we don't have to raise the money to pay. It's these agencies. But so far as we did it, the beneficiary feel it that it's Lands Commission that should pay. So that accounts for some of these compensations.
Is that the reason why so many government lands are not registered?
Are not registered?
Yes. There are several government properties, lands, that are not registered. So many of these organizations have come here. And some of the lands are very prime areas, but they don't have any title to it. They put the blame on Lands Commission. Lands Commission, too, is saying that the agencies don't bring in the money. I don't want to mention some of these prime properties so that, what do you call them, encroachers will go on it. What are we doing?
Honorable, before we give leases to the agencies, and most of them also have certificate of allocation, but we cannot go ahead and do the registration until they apply for us to register the land for them. Of course, the application will come with some payment of money. So until they come or apply to us to do the registration, we cannot go ahead and do the registration for them. But now we are now trying to digitalize all our activities. 100% digitalization, that's what we are pushing. And I know my sector minister is liaising with the Ministry of Finance so that we can increase our IGF. When the IGF is increased and we are able to do this, we'll be able to capture most of these state lands so that if there are any issues on them, you'll be able to address them.
Prof, as for me, I can confidently call you Prof because I know you are a proper professor. Yes. Prof, our issue is the concerns of many Ghanaians has to do with the process of land registration. How can we make it more convenient and timely? The process is too long. You've introduced some digitalization processes, but it hasn't changed things that much. As you have taken over, what is it that you can do to improve on this situation so that it doesn't take forever to get a piece of land registered? I think we have also seen in some of the Auditor General's reports that many state entities have not also been able to register their lands. And this is not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Some as far back as, is it 10 years or more? Yes. So what can you do, one, to make sure we give those state entities priority? Because these are government lands that needs to be secured. So what can we do to give them some priority, and then for ordinary citizens who are struggling to register their lands and register it timely? What assurance can you give us? Not just the assurance, but what are you, practical measures are you going to put in place to help us reduce the time that we use in registering and the processes as well to make it more efficient? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. The first time my sector minister visited our institution, he said that he wanted to register a land. For 8 years, he had been following up. Nobody even tells him anything. But the day that it was announced that he is coming to be the sector minister, they called him that his document is ready, he should come for it. That means that it can actually be done. And I've seen documents where people are able to get their certificates within 14 days. I've seen that. Yes. A petition came, this land was supposed to be for me, another person has gone ahead and registered in time for us to deal with some of these petitions. That means that the human factor is one thing that we all have to look at. And when I say human factor, not just the staff within the commission. We talk about the businessmen and women who deal with this stuff. Talk about politicians who deal with this stuff. So all of us, if you want to change the land sector, then all of us will have to get involved in it. One of the practical measures we want to do, as we speak at the moment, our system is semi-automated. So if you're able to go fully digital, I'm sure some of these things, so that we are going to practice the first entire measures. If your documents come in first, no matter who you are, you should be able to get your document out, assuming that all other factors remain constant. So that's the way to go, Honorable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam, let me add something to what my hardworking acting chief executive of the Lands Commission has said. This government is committed to decentralize the process of land registration. And so the president has directed the minister to ensure that we have offices in all the districts, if not fully established offices, but at least some satellite offices. As we speak, most of land registrations takes place at the regional level. And so clearly, it will be difficult for somebody to be able to register land within a reasonable time period. For instance, if I were to go to Damango, which is the Savannah regional capital, to go and register my land, I get there and I provide all my documentation, and I'm told that I will need my Ghana card. If I have left the Ghana card in Bole, what it means that I have to go to Bole and bring the Ghana card. That, of course, will delay the process. So what we have been told to do, which we are doing, is that at every district assembly office, we have at least somebody there who can provide the necessary information to the public. So that even if you are going to Damango, at least you go with all the documentation and you'll be able to do it once and for all. The president has also directed that the ministry will be measured in terms of its performance when it comes to land registration at the end of the day, when we are able to use not more than 30 working days to be able to register a land. And so these are some of the things that we are doing. So very soon, we are going to deploy, we are going to ensure that all districts will have some representation so that they are able to provide the necessary information and facilitate the process of land registration in this country. The challenge in terms of digitalization is that we need a huge investment to be able to do this, huge investment. And government is unable to provide that money. And so government is bringing on board the private sector so that the private sector can partner with government to be able to put in place that platform that can ensure that we are able to digitalize very, very well. What are we doing? We have gone to the Ministry of Finance to say that the retention, when they generate their money, they keep only 33%, and government takes the 67%. So we are appealing to the Minister of Finance. We have spoken with the President, and he's asked that we should speak with the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance is in agreement, in principle, to allow Lands Commission to be able to retain their IGF. If it is 100%, we can now go into a partnership with a business person and say that, look, we are able to generate income and we are able to pay you whatever you would have invested. Within the shortest possible time, you will recoup your investment. This is what we are doing to ensure that we are able to bring on board the digitalization that this government has promised Ghanaians. These and many other things are the promises that we have made, and these are issues that are enshrined in our manifesto, and we will walk our talk. At the end of the day, we will bring a change.
Thank you very much, but I'll advise the Minister for Finance to be cautious in granting 100% retention. You have to grant to some percentage, see their performance, whether all things being equal, it warrants 100%, but you don't go ahead straight away to grant 100%, irrespective of the good intentions that you have. And that is how we do it, because we need to manage the monies of the state in a way that we share it equally for all and sundry.
Chair, I think there should be an exception in this case. You alluded to the fact that this is a special project that we need to run. And what we have proposed is that it's not going to be there forever. Let's say they give us 5 years. Allow us to retain the 100% for 5 years. After 5 years, we would have put in place the system. The investor would have recouped his money, and then you can now bring it back and say that, look, we'll retain 33 and bring us the 67, and we'll be fine to go with it. So support us in that respect. And I know your word go far. If we begin speaking this way, and we are not able to get this through, Madam Chair, I raise my case here.
All right, Honorable Gape.
Thank you, Lands Commission. I would like to find out from you, is there any law or a policy preventing you not to go straight and register government entities, like let's say Ministry of Agri, their lands, where you can actually protect it and then actually fence it? Is there any law preventing?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The answer will be no. What we do is that when the acquisition is made, we give you certificate of allocation. It's up to that agency to come that I want to do ABC. Then we will do that for that particular agency.
I want us to just move away from that concept, because I'm saying that government lands are there allocated to various ministries. Mm-hmm. Still, Lands Commission is a Republic of Ghana. You are supposed to protect government land. Is that not the case? Yes. Your mandate.
Manage public lands.
Yes. Yes. So if the ministries and institutions are not taking initiative, our lands are at the mercy, people are encroaching on it. What should we do? What should we do? What would you recommend?
Chair, this is a straightforward matter. The ministry is supposed to lead the process of acquiring land and allocating the lands to state institutions. That is their major responsibility. Once they do that, it is that agency's responsibility to now register the land in their name. What you do is for you to apply to Ministry of Lands, and you'll be taken through the process. It involves costs. Do you expect Lands Commission to incur the cost, acquire land for you, and go ahead to register the land for you, and you go and use the land for your business? For instance, take University of Ghana. Land has been acquired and given to them. They have taken the initiative to register the land. And so it becomes difficult for somebody to encroach upon the land. If Ministry of Agric will not register their land, it is not for Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and for that matter, Lands Commission, to go and register it. We must insist, and this committee has that responsibility, to insist that all state agencies that have not registered their lands do that. And if they don't do that, there should be some sanction.
It is on negligence on the part of the various institutions not to actually register their land.
I haven't said so.
Lands Commission, you are discharged. Now we have a Minerals Commission. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Mr. Chair, I am Isaac Tando, acting CEO for Minerals Commission.
Okay.
Emmanuel Osaikesi, Director of Finance, Minerals Commission.
Kambelenchi, Deputy Manager, Internal Audit, Minerals Commission.
Mr. Chair, Emmanuel Enyima, Deputy CEO, Support Services.
Okay, Honorable Abna Osiasari will handle the financial performance with you.
AG, you're welcome. Okay. Minerals Commission. First and foremost, it's your financial performance and financial position that brought you here. You haven't been cited for any management issues. My concern is with your deteriorating current ratio. In 2022, it was 1.3 to 1. And then in 2023, it came down to 0.6 to 1. Clearly, it indicates that you'll not be capable of meeting your short-term financial obligations. But I know you make lots of internally generated funds and other revenues. What can you do to make sure you correct this particular anomaly and then also make profits moving forward?
Thank you, Madam Chair. What we intend doing and what we have been doing is to ramp up collections and to make sure that we position ourselves for our cash flow such that whenever our liabilities are due, we will have enough to make payment. Thank you.
In 2022, you made a loss of 110 million. And then in 2023, you changed the loss situation into a profit of 449.5 million Ghana cedis. And you did this by cutting down on your goods and services. In 2022, your goods and services was 477 million, and you reduced it by 235 million. How did you do that? What goes into your goods and services? And how come you were able to reduce it by 235 million Ghana cedis within 1 year? The AG is here, the AG is listening, so if you don't put it in a proper perspective. No, I'm only advising.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So compared to 2022, we did a lot of alternative livelihood employment activities in 2022 compared to that of 2023. So we scaled down on alternative livelihood activities so much in 2023. So that accounted for that huge drop.
Well, I must say that this is, if not, correct me if I'm wrong, if this is not the first public board institution that I have realized that when the going gets tough, they reduce their goods and services. For some of them, when they don't even have money, they make sure they kill it on their goods and services, raise it way above what they even get as income. So for me, members on the table, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the first time I'm seeing a huge drop in goods and services when to correct a negative position or a deficit position. This is the first time I'm seeing a huge drop in their goods and services. So whatever you are doing, do it and do it well and sustain it and make sure you earn more profits than you are earning now, because the mandate that you have, you can do more, you can earn more. And how much do you retain? Do you retain 100% of your IGF?
Yes, please.
You retain 100% of your IGF?
Yes, please.
Then you should be in the billions and not the millions. So, Minister, over to you. If you can support them, I know they can hit the millions, the billions, and not the millions we are seeing here. But I'm happy with the way, and they took prudent measures to reduce their goods and services, to move their position from 110 million deficits to a 49.5 million profits. All I'm saying is that they should work hard at it to make sure they improve their current ratio to at least 1:1, so that they can cover their short-term liabilities, and then moving forward, also make some profits for the institution. So on this note, I think I'm done with. Thank you.
Chairperson, your advice well noted. We can assure you that some structural and some strategic decisions are being put in place to ensure that we're able to get our monies that are owed by some of these mining companies paid, and paid promptly. And once we do that, I can assure you that this organization will be one of the organizations that you want to be associated with. And so your advice is being taken on board. And I can tell you, we have gotten a very young man to be the acting CEO, who is very, very bright, very ready to work. And we will support him to achieve. Thank you.
We'll gladly support him. It's just that he should, in terms of the granting of license, you know, the young people are very exuberant, and then, but in terms of granting the license, please make sure you follow every step that you need to follow, so that we don't turn around to have a lot of these issues that we're having with Galamsey, and then they'll tell you, well, they have license from the Minerals Commission, and the AG is also listening. So,
all right, Honorable Ahenkwa.
Yes, thank you, Chair. You said your expenditure saw a sharp decline in 2023 because you reduced your activities on alternative livelihood programs. But I know that these programs are geared towards the curbing of the menace of Galamsey. So, you reducing your activities in that sector, what was the impact on the Galamsey activity? Are you not sure it is because of your reduction in the alternative livelihood program that led to the increase in the menace of Galamsey? And what are you doing now?
Yeah, so I thought we would have been asked to tell the committee what constitutes our alternative livelihood program. Now, there is no direct relationship in terms of those who benefit from some of these alternative livelihood programs and Galamsey. It's not always the case that you go and pick those who are mining, who are doing Galamsey, to come and set them up and say that don't go back to the site. No. In some cases, potential ones are the ones that you give this support to. And now we have made our analysis and realized that the rate at which we were going for this particular organization, it was not sustainable. Again, the ministry has other agencies that also assist in this same respect. So what we did was to find a way of synchronizing the activities so that you don't have, for instance, Forestry Commission giving some sort of alternative livelihood to a group of people, and at the same time, Minerals Commission is also giving the same support to the same group. So if you realign this, then you are able to reduce the quantum of money that you will be using, because you then realize that what Forestry is doing, you allow them to support one group, and then you also support a different group. So once you do this issue of it increasing or not reducing Galamsey will not come on board. And that's exactly what was considered in the reduction of this figure. I don't confuse you, whether you like.
Minerals Commission, you are discharged. But Honorable Minister for Lands, we are calling the Minister for Justice and Attorney General.
Chairman, agreed.
And come and join us. Okay, and those coming under the Ministry of Justice and Attorney General, we have Copyright Office, Legal Aid Commission, Office of the Registrar of Companies, Economic and Organized Crime Office, and General Legal Office, General Legal Counsel. Those of you who will be answering questions, please come forward. You take the oath to tell the truth, and then we'll go from there. Clerk, could you please swear them in, please?
Madam Chairperson, we are waiting for the ORC, unless you want them to dispense of taking the oath. That is the Office of Registrar of Companies. So I wanted them to be here so that we take the oath together, Otherwise, if they come in and subsequently they have to make representations to the committee, it will be without the taking of the oath. They will take the oath before.
Yes, yes. Honorable Minister, when they get here, they will take the oath.
All right. Well taken.
Edmund Amakwe Foley, swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Minister, if you could introduce yourself and then your delegation.
Madam Chair, Ranking Member, members of the committee, good morning. My name is Dominic Akunriteng Ayine, Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Honorable Chair, good morning. My name is Fatih Bodua Seidu, the Chief Director.
My name is William Akwete Bonsu, the Principal State Attorney in charge of the Corporate Office.
Honorable Chair, my name is Millicent Kane Kabase, Head of Accounts, Copyright Office.
Good morning, all. Honorable Chair, I am Abba Jacqueline Opoku, Deputy Executive Director for General Services of the Economic and Organized Crime Office. Thank you.
Honorable Chairperson Edmund Amakwe Foley, Executive Director, Legal Aid Commission.
My name is Sarah Aban, Head of Finance, Legal Aid Commission.
Honorable Chair, Janet Ofori, Legal Aid Commission, Procurement.
Honorable Chair, my name is William Opoku Amuakon, Head of Finance, EOPO.
Okay, we'll go to Corporate Office first, and to take you through the financials, Honorable Bauer will do that, please. It's on paragraph 820.
Thank you, Chairman. And the financial statement we are going to look at is for the year ending 2022. 2022. So, copyright, I would like to find out in the table 127, this item, other income. What constitutes your other income?
We have an IGF we call the blank levy. Blank levy. Blank, yeah. This is imposed on devices that are capable of copying. And this is done by the government, that is GRA, on behalf of our collective management organization, which is Music, Copy Ghana, and then ASOC, that's audiovisual. These monies are collected, and then we intend to distribute them to the various collective management organizations.
Yeah, I asked you because if you look at the table, you realize that that amount decreased substantially by over 61%, from 16 million to 6 million. What caused that?
Honorable Chair.
From 2021 to 2022.
Honorable Chair, I think there is an issue of capturing because that is what we will be paying to them. What came in was 86802, but I think it was not captured here.
Madam, we are dealing with 2022.
Yes, sir. Yes. So what came in was 866,802. The 674 was an additional income that came in. So we need to add the 866, 8228, because that was what we paid them. When we received the money, we pay it to them. And if you look at the table, you can see that we paid out monies 866, 803.
Yeah, I can see that amount on the expenditure column.
Yes. That's it we have here.
Now, auditors, why did you? Can you tell us why this? Because anybody taking this account will be it's misleading.
Yeah, it's true.
Because why didn't you add this 866, 80328?
Honorable Chair, I'm just requesting for the detailed financial statement to see exactly what is in there, because that is the financial statement we express our opinion on. I want to compare that with the summary we have in the report, so that if there is any difference, then we can be able to tell that it's just when we were summarizing it that we omitted that particular figure. So we are requesting for the detail to look at it. Thank you.
Okay, while we wait for your reconciliation, let's look at this thing. Copyright, government subvention also went down drastically. What accounted for that?
Yeah, yes, I was coming back. Yes, on it. When you look at the detail, I think when we were doing the summary in the report, we added it to the GOG subvention. It should have been separated. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, then this a whole financial statement is a bit misleading.
No, it's you are going to end up getting the same figures in terms of surplus and everything. It's just the classification when we were doing the summary in the report that there's a bit of a mix-up, but it's in the same. You have the same effect in a nutshell.
Let's look at it. Then, Copyright, can you tell us why the GOG subvention went down?
Honorable Chair, that was what was allotted to us, and we picked it as use. Yeah.
Honorable Member, the Copyright Office doesn't determine how much subvention comes to them. So you should direct that question to the Minister of Finance.
Okay, and then we also realized that your IGF also went down under the same year. If you look at the statement, from 194 to 77.
Generated by us. That particular year, that is 2022. The nature of copyright is that it is not compulsory when you create your work. So voluntarily they come to register. So this particular year, the registration was low.
Madam, we are asking this because if you look at the ratio, your ratio is down. So maybe if there are certain things that we are not doing right, we need to know, because if your own IGF goes down by more than 50%, that means that something is going wrong. That's why we're asking, because if you look at your current ratio, it's 0.51, which means that at least you will not be able to meet your short-term financial obligations as and when they fall due. So what are you going to do to ensure that at least this you improve on this ratio?
Honorable Chairman, we have intensified our public education. It is one of our core mandates. So we have intensified our public education through the radio stations and then the public, the TV stations. Despite the fact that copyright is not, we don't have the, it's not compulsory. At least we have intensified our public education to ensure that people come and register, so that at least it will give them some sort of security in case maybe the case goes to court. So we have intensified our public education, both in schools, the media, etc.
Mr. Chairman, I think I'm done with my interrogation of the report, the financial performance.
All right, thank you very much. Next one, let's go to Legal Aid Commission. And Honorable Day will take through the financials, please.
Thank you very much, Chairman. The Legal Aid Commission, I think this is very important, one of the very important agencies of state, but undoubtedly so ill-resourced. And it's reflected clearly in the financials. And I think the auditors lumped the accounts that was prepared together. So we're looking at the 4-year financial statement ending 31st December 2023. And what we are seeing is that within or between 2022 and 2023, total income increased by 22.3% due to increase in government grants. And then the expenditure increased by a higher percentage of 22 or 25.2% due to increase in compensation of employees, goods and services. What is also significant to note is that your non-current assets, or fixed assets for that matter, increased by a very large percentage of 4,000%. And this is due to revaluation of your property. The committee would like to know what properties you have and what kind of revaluation was done. But it is significant to note that at least you have been efficient in maintaining a current ratio of, I think in 2022, that was about 1:1, and that improved to 2:1 in 2023. But it's clear that this important agency needs a lot of support in terms of resourcing. But I would like to know from management, based on the figures, what you are doing to improve upon the situation, particularly to get more grants since you remain a government-subvented entity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and also for your kind words and support towards the work we do. The revaluation of our properties, this involved some of our landed properties. The Western region, for instance, we own our building. In Ashanti region, we also have land in the Eastern region, in Koforidua. So these assets, fixed assets, of course, immovable property, were revalued. We also did procure some equipment, machines that we use in the course of our work, and that accounted for the increment. Of course, as you rightly indicated, definitely for support we do need at every stage. Given that the poor and vulnerable we support, that bulge keeps increasing and the demand on our services. In fact, if you permit me, as we speak, this week we are celebrating Legal Aid Week. And currently the office is in Medina doing an outreach and offering free legal services. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
What I would want to know from you, if you look at the amount, and I'm referring particularly to 2023, you received grants to the tune of 32.2 million. And that went almost straight away into compensation. What perhaps you'd want to tell this committee and maybe use that as a means to seek our support and assistance is what you're doing to ensure that you position yourself such that your activities would remain attractive to the public and caught for support. You would want to speak to that.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. If you look at sections 23 and 24 of our Enabling Act, Act 977, the Legal Aid Commission Act, we are required to be in every district and every region of the country. Currently, we are in 10 regions. This is where we have regional offices, and by this I mean the 10 traditional regions before we moved on to the 16 with 6 additional. We also have just 46 district offices. And as a commission, out of the over 200 districts we have, and I must commend some members of this House who have been gracious to support us in getting new offices. Just on Monday, I was in Nsawam, for instance, with my team to meet the assembly to get us office space. So it's been meeting the assemblies, meeting with members of parliament, and also with some chiefs to assist us to get offices in the various regions and districts. We were in Asesewa 2 weeks ago to also meet with the MCE because we have an acute office accommodation situation in Asesewa. So that's what we've been doing. But let me also humbly add that we have put in a request to the Ministry of Finance to help us recruit about 70 more staff. Our current staff strength when it comes to lawyers, we are less than 50 lawyers in the commission, about 45 lawyers and about 60 ADR officers. And that is woefully inadequate. We have lost some staff due to death. We have had resignations of staff. We've also had a retirement of very key staff. One iconic one is the fact that in the Upper West region, we have only one lawyer serving the whole region, who doubles as both criminal defense attorney, civil cases, and also as administrative regional head. And so our situation is quite dire. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right, the next one, this one is an infraction. It's on paragraph 838. And Honorable Cletus will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, this infraction is on qualified suppliers to the tune of 416,146 Ghana cedis. You awarded contracts without evidence of certificate of incorporation, VAT registration certificate, tax clearance, Senate, and all of that. To the tune of the amount I mentioned, can you explain to us why you should not be penalized under the PPA Act, Section 92, Act 2003, as amended?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. We indeed have the documentation to support all of these things, and I believe we made them available, but we still have them here for the auditor's attention and verification. So, Honorable Chair, we actually have the supporting documents to cover all these suppliers, yes.
Auditors, can you confirm this or otherwise?
Honorable Chair, we are yet to have those documents to look at.
Yeah, legal aid. The auditors, you provided evidence or some supporting documents in the case of Royal Elmont Hotel, which the auditors disagree with you. So if you have evidence, you can give it to the auditors for them to confirm to the committee.
Very well, Honorable Chairperson. We would furnish you with it. But for Royal Elmont, if I may explain the circumstance under which they were engaged, this had to do with getting hotel accommodation for lawyers attending the bar conference. Now, the Commission supports the lawyers by paying for them. Unfortunately, given our dire financial situation, at the time bookings were being made, the Commission was not in a position to secure the accommodation. Of course, by the time we could marshal ourselves to do that, all the hotels were booked, and we're caught in a situation where we had to give some confirmation and some assurance that we would book the place, hence going with Royal Elmont. We have been cautioned by the auditors when it comes to this kind of sourcing, single sourcing under the circumstances. And I want to assure the committee that we have since desisted from that, tried our best in the circumstances to do our procurement early to ensure that we don't fall in this situation. In fact, this year for the bar conference, given the fact that we did not have the resources, we asked the lawyers to proceed to do their bookings, and then we would refund them. This would also ensure that we do not have a situation where you overbook and then you are not able to pay for all. You pay for the rooms that people have not occupied. So these are some of the measures, Honorable Chairperson, we've taken.
Sir, I'm sorry to come on in like this. You said you had some documents for the auditors. How come you didn't turn these documents in at the time of the audit?
Honorable Chairperson, I believe we did.
But the auditors don't have it.
Honorable Chairperson, respectfully, we would
What
clarify
shows,
with them.
what evidence do you have that you gave it to the auditors? Because you are a lawyer, right? Me, I'm a pocket lawyer. Let's go at it. Why didn't you know the law? You know the law.
Very well, Honorable Chair.
Why didn't you follow the law? Auditors, do you have those documents he claims he tendered him?
Honorable Chair, we are yet to have those documents, but I don't know whether he is referring to the earlier ones they submitted. Because when you look at the response they gave, they indicated that the documents were available for verification. And we did verify, but we did not accept because we indicated that the validity periods did not relate to the period of the procurement transactions listed. That was the earlier documents that they submitted, and this was the response that we gave them. I don't know if they have additional or they have further documents to provide for us to look at them.
Sir, do you have any further documents? Because the ones that you gave, they told you that, they wouldn't accept it.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. In fact, we've brought all the documentation we have, and so respectfully, we would engage with them to ensure and cross-check to be sure that what they have tallies, and if there are any additional, we brought everything here, Honorable Chairperson.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I'm just being curious. Legal aid, there is something on this the table. Yeah, table 130B, 130B. What do you mean by payment for procurement? Procurement.
Honorable Chairperson, I believe this is from the auditors. The narration is not from our end.
Yeah, the auditors, will you tell us what you mean by payment for procurement? Canwest, the company is Canwest Limited.
Yes, Honorable Chair, we would normally indicate this in relation to the narration we have on the PVs that were presented. So it is a description on the PV that we will indicate in our report.
Okay, they are going to present you with the documents that you asked for. They claim that they have it here, so hopefully we'll get some better answers on this one. The next infraction is on paragraph 844, and Honorable Alex will take care of that one.
Mr. Chairman, this has to do with failure to pay overdue tax liability. And the GRA sent you a final demand notice on September 19, 2023. And these tax liabilities were for 2017, 2018, and 2019 to the tune of 241,291.33 Ghana cedis. Have you since paid that tax liability?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. We engaged the GRA as advised, and in fact, the governing board of the commission took this matter very seriously. We came to some payment arrangement with the GRA. We have paid 50,000 out of this amount. We have budgeted for this in our budget subsequently, and we endeavor to keep to that payment plan. It's difficult, but definitely we would honor our promise to the GRA and make good this debt.
Is this arrangement with the GRA known to the auditors?
Yes, I believe we made known to the auditors. Yes.
You believe?
Let me ask him. Sir, you are a lawyer. What is the law on taxes? When you take the taxes from an individual, what do you do with it?
Honorable Chairperson, you pay it immediately.
You pay immediately. And for 2017, 2018, 2019, you owe 241,000.
Very well, Honorable Chairperson, this occurred due to the rate of tax we should have charged. This was mostly withholding taxes for board allowances, car maintenance for staff, fuel, and all of that. Unfortunately, when the rate changed, the new rate was not applied. And when this was brought to our attention, then we had this debt to settle. And so we are doing our best to ensure that we clear this debt, Honorable Chairperson.
Sir, you implement the law. We make the law, you implement the law.
Very well, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, if I may, this is a matter we take very serious in the commission, and I want to assure the committee that we will do our best to clear this debt. We have engaged GRA vigorously on this, and we would ensure that we settle this.
Mr. Chairman, the executive secretary made an arrangement with the GRA, and these issues were raised by the auditors. So I think the right thing is that any arrangement for a payment plan should be made known to the auditors. Have you done that? That remains my question.
Honorable Chairperson, we have communicated with the auditors, and again, we would engage them to confirm this communication to the auditors.
Auditors, have you been made aware, or they will engage you to confirm it? Have you been made aware? Have you?
Honorable Chair, what we can confirm is that they have made a payment of 50,000 to the GRA. As to the arrangement between them and GRA concerning the subsequent payment, we cannot attest to that.
Mr. Executive Secretary, you can hear what the auditor has just said. Why did you do that?
Honorable Chairperson, I am advised by my team that we did communicate to the audit team that was on the ground as to the arrangements with the GRA. So we would, yes, Honorable Chairperson, we will go back and ensure that we...
So you've so far paid 50,000 Ghana cedis, and you are left with about 90,000 Ghana cedis. What? Is it not, you are left with about 190,000 Ghana cedis. What can you tell us the payment plan that you have with the GRA?
In fact, Honorable Chairperson, we discussed with the GRA, first of all, that they should give us a rebate. This was not accepted. Then we said, given the financial position of the commission, we would pay immediately anytime we have releases coming in. We would ensure that we make some payment. This really is a tough decision, honestly, and a tough situation for us. We know that we owe. We are not under any circumstance saying we do not owe GRA. But anytime we have releases, we would make some payment. And that has been our plea to the GRA.
Then it means that you don't have any payment plan with the GRA. That is the bottom line. Anytime I thought you have releases, you honor payment. It's not a payment plan. Yes, you don't have any payment plan with the GRA.
Madam Chairperson, I believe the import of what he's saying is that they have an arrangement with the GRA for a deferment of the payment until such time that they have money. That is acceptable under the law. The GRA, the commissioner, has the discretionary power, all right, to defer the payment of a tax because the tax is a debt due and owing to the Republic, okay, and it is within the remit of the GRA to say when the taxpayer can make the payment. And in any case, this is a subvented organization that is under financial stress. So to insist that they cough up, monies immediately to pay for this, liability, that was not intentional. I don't think that it is fair. They are not an organization that generates any income. In fact, what they do is to support the poor in accessing legal services. So we should be, as a state, more sympathetic to their situation than be grilling them as we are doing now.
Honorable Minister, I'm happy they are under your purview, they are under your ministry, so that when you go for budgetary allocations, you tell the minister to give them what is due. But when you look at their financial performance, do they receive, apart from, I see a grant of 32 million. Does it come from government or it comes from other sources? I don't see any inflow from government here, and then I see your non-tax revenue.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Everything we receive is from government.
So the grant of 32 million is from government?
Very well, Honorable Chairperson.
So if you got a grant of 32 million and you owe 240, what stopped you from paying your taxes? Because these are the same monies that government generates and uses it to pay you and other ministries, departments, and agencies. So it is clear that you are not placing priority on the payment of your obligations. You have defaulted, you are supposed to pay, you are not paying, you get 32 million, and you choose to use it for other things that you see as equally important. And then you're saying that until budgetary allocations come in. And so when do you think that the outstanding 190 can be cleared off your books? Because if you get 32 million and you can't pay 241,000 Ghana cedis and you say you are waiting for budgetary allocations to come, then maybe you need 200 million before you can clear it. And that is not going to happen because even the AG's department does not get 200 million as grants from government. So please tell us something concrete. You can arrange with the GRA. So you said you have arranged. Can we see something on paper? Because we cannot use your word of mouth to say that it's acceptable for you to pay your taxes through that medium. And so tell us the arrangements, the documented arrangements that you have done with GRA, and let us know, let this committee know moving forward when you are going to clear the 190, because 200 million is not going to come for you to clear the 190. When you get 32, you do the needful.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. And we do, in fact, take the recommendation and, of course, the chiding of the committee very seriously. We would furnish you with the documentation, but if I may also humbly request that, yes, given the situation, and as the Honorable Attorney General has also indicated, we would revert to GRA and come back to the committee with something very concrete. The 32 million you are referring to also includes our compensation. It's not totally for our goods and services and operations, but I want to assure you that I take the consideration of the committee very seriously, and we would not take it lightly at all and ensure this debt is cleared.
Yeah, I know the 32 million includes your compensation of 28 million, so you still have 4 million left. It's a matter of priority. You think it's for government, so it is not necessary, it's not urgent, and that is what I want to drive at. You still had 4 million Ghana cedis, and taking 240,000 Ghana cedis from 4 million Ghana cedis, respectfully, it is something you ought to do. Others come here and they are charged for, I wouldn't say charged because the AG is here, and there's an infraction of non-payment of taxes, and we give them 30 days. We give them 30 days to repay the amounts. So we would want to see some documentation with GRA as to when this payment can be cleared, and it has to be, like I told you, we give them 30 days, so take that into consideration. And please prioritize things that are also equally important, because these are the same taxes that government uses to pay all of us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Well taken.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. Legal Aid Commission. Let me take you back to the unqualified suppliers. Since you interpret the laws, this may come as an advice. If you look at item number 6, we bought toners from Get for Less on the 19th of October, 2023 for 22,500. And then if you look at number 7, 1st of November, about 2 weeks, you bought another toners from the same company for 81,000. You know very well that if the amount is more than 100,000, you need to use you need to use a different procurement method. But you decided to buy the 22,000 and then bought another 81,000. But if we put the two together, to more than the 100,000, which you didn't need to use the request for quotation. So why did you decide to break bulk?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. I am advised that we would have to check the dating of these. Breaking bulk is something we are very conscious of in the Commission and would not want to do anything of the sort. So I respectfully and humbly plead that let us confirm the the dates there. It may not be a true reflection of the situation. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
We'll let the auditors do that for us. But you see, if you don't pay the taxes, we'll send it to the Attorney General for prosecution. Let's go to the next one. Unpresented vouchers of 26,854.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairperson, we have the vouchers also for verification. I believe, again, we made these available. So, but nonetheless, we have brought all the vouchers concerned for verification by the auditors.
Auditors, have you seen those documents?
Yes, Honorable Chair, in our follow-up, the DVs were presented and were duly verified.
Good. The next infraction is on paragraph 856, and NASA will take care of that one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Executive Director, if I may borrow the words of your boss, our astute Attorney General, he said, subvented government organization that is under financial distress. But, Executive Director, you spoke about your non-current assets that is increased astronomically because some of your landed properties were revalued. In the same vein, you mentioned Koforidua. In the same vein, Executive Director, you have not taken the steps to register all these lands. And before we realize, we find ourselves in a tug of war with businessmen who are encroaching on our lands. And if you are an institution under financial distress, how can you fight these guys? Please, what steps have you taken in the registration of these lands?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. We have the documents, the title documents for Western Region and for the Ashanti Regional Office. All the others, in fact, we've taken the steps to register them. And we are in the process. There are different stages of the registration process, but at least we have the documentation to share with the auditors also for the Western and Ashanti Regional properties.
Thank you very much. Chairman, with this one, I would like you to let them give us some timelines to register these lands. But they are in prime locations in Koforidua. They are in prime locations. And I know how, that's where I come from, so I know how hot those lands are.
Sir, Lands Commission was here. We asked him about these things. And I wish they had stayed to see what the problem that we are going through. Have you made any attempt to register these?
Yes, Honorable Chairperson.
How long have you been working on it?
I believe since from last year. Yes, from last year we began work on the registration of these properties that we have.
Now, when you say you are working on it, does it mean you've noted it down, or the land has been surveyed, or what was the process you are going through?
The lands have been surveyed.
Yes, sir.
The lands have been surveyed.
And
so it is for us to, continue from the survey with ensuring that the necessary payments are done so that we can complete the registration.
how long will it take you to register these lands? Because I'm interested in your land at Takoradi. If you don't want it, I will take it over.
Takoradi, Honorable Chairperson, Takoradi is registered, yes.
But it's listed here. 0.72 acres of land.
Yes. It was, I'm advised it was early this year that the registration was completed and we received the documentation.
What about the one in Tamale?
Tamale, Tamale is not completed. Yes, Tamale is not completed. Tamale, we are on the premises also of the Judicial Service. It was the Judicial Service that gave us that property. Yes.
What about the one in Kumasi?
Kumasi is also done. Kumasi, we have the documentation.
Anyway, you guys have enough lawyers to go to court on these lands.
Yes, please. We
So
would
that's
ensure
why
that
you
they are
haven't
done.
registered them.
Yes. Yes. We don't want to litigate. Honorable Chairperson, I will engage with the Executive Secretary of the Lands Commission. I have met him previously, earlier this year, on our issues. So I will continue that engagement so we ensure this is done as soon as possible, Honorable Chairperson.
All right. You have up to, how long do you think it will take you to do this?
Yes, Honorable Chairperson, we would commit to middle of next year, by end of second quarter.
Middle of next year is not an answer.
By 30th June, Honorable Chairperson.
30th June.
2026.
All these lands will be registered.
We would ensure that
you
they are
have
registered
titles to these.
and obtain title documents.
The whole country is watching you.
Very well, Honorable Chairperson. I am aware of the oath I've taken.
All right.
This one goes to Attorney General. There are a lot of institutions under your outfit have issues with their land registration, so we will please urge you to actually enforce, push them to register government lands because it's very crucial.
All right, now let's call Office of the Registrar. Oh, I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, I was just going to thank the honorable member and say that the advice is well taken.
Thank you. Now let's call Office of the Registrar of Companies. Legal Aid Commission, you are discharged. Now,
Madam
Registrar
Chair,
of Companies.
the ORC was not here, so they were not sworn in.
Okay.
So they have to first take the oath before.
Clerk, swear them in, please.
Swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Could you please introduce yourself to the committee?
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. I am Mame Sama Pepra, Acting Registrar of Companies.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. I'm the Head of Finance, Vivian Amperi.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. I'm Dennis Bochweche, Head Administration.
Respectfully, Honorable Chair, I am Prince Kaka, Head of Internal Audit.
All right. Honorable Ahinkwa will go through the financials with you, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Office of the Registrar of Companies, looking at your financial performance, your non-tax revenue, you had 136 million plus, your grants 31 million plus, and then other income also 404,000 plus. So you have a surplus of 62 million 669,299. So, what did you do so extraordinary to get this surplus of 62 million? I want to know. I'm curious.
Respectfully, Honorable Chair, we have engaged in intensive sensitization on our mandate. As part of our mandate under the Companies Act 992, we are supposed to educate the public about our services and the registrations, the various registrations we engage in. So we've done a lot of that sensitization alongside with registration clinics, where we go to various areas and then register businesses and companies as well.
On compensations, you have 16 million, and on the use of goods and services, 63 million plus. I see it to be a bit astronomical. Any explanation? Or because you are earning more, as the mantra is, then you spend more. Because most people come, and that is the trend. They earn more. As they earn more, they spend more. Is that the trajectory? Any explanation?
Respectfully, yes. Respectfully, Honorable Chair, given that we are recently decoupled from the Registrar General's department, and with the division of the assets, we weren't given a chunk of the assets. So we are now getting most of these assets from our IGF. And the compensation is given by the government, not from our IGF.
Your current ratio is 5 to 4 to 1, which indicates that you'll be capable of meeting your short-term financial obligations. I think it's positive. So what do you want to do differently from what you mentioned earlier to quadruple or even better, more than that of what you have achieved earlier?
So, Mr. Chair, we've extended our activities to other regions where we don't have offices. Currently, we just ended a registration clinic in Eastern Region where we don't have an office. We'll be going to 3 other regions before the end of this year: Volta, OT, and Central. So these are some of the things we are engaging in to ensure that we register more businesses and increase our IGF.
So once you'll be establishing more offices, it means the human resource will also increase. And I believe your next report will indicate an increase in the compensations. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Your infraction is on paragraph 870, and Honorable Gape will take care of that one.
Thank you. This issue is related to abandoned electronic queuing management system. Under the Section 7 of Public Financial Management Act 2016 at 921, as a principal officer, exercise of your duty is to provide efficient management system to actually put in place control measures. You have acquired this system, and then you have abandoned it in a Kumasi office. And in addition to that, you further incur a total cost of expenditure, 595,000 742 Ghana cedis, 12 pesos on initial acquisition and installation and periodic maintenance of the system in Kumasi office. This is supposed to actually help you where your clients move everything faster for your clients. But now one is not functioning, the queue is there. Second, you have actually put in money. The money that you have put in, the investment is waste. What is the status with regards to this?
Respectfully, Honorable Chair, the queue management system malfunctioned due to power fluctuations. So currently, we sent service personnel to work on it. It's been resolved and it's being used by the Kumasi office.
Yeah, so in the recommendation of the auditors, they ask you to buy some appliance to safeguard the is it done?
That is so, Honorable Chair. An AVR was purchased for the office.
So it's now working well, everything is fine.
That is so, Honorable Chair.
So is the auditors aware of it? Audited?
Yes, Honorable Chair, now the system is working, is operating. They have indeed acquired the UPS and the AVR, and we can say that the system is operating fully. Thank you.
Just want to follow up with some public interest question. For instance, if let's say at a Mills Institute, where the person is not a family, is not related, can I just come to your office and register a company?
So, respectfully, Honorable Chair, the law has certain rules regarding the registration of business names. We have to ensure that there's no conflict with other names on our register. We have to also ensure that it is in the interest of the public that such names exist on our register. There are a number of enumerated steps that we go through, conduct the search, and ensure that it's in line with Act 992, and then we'll do the registration.
Question is, this is a known president, former president, and then somebody, if I'm not related to the president, can I just come to your office and register a company in his name?
Under the law, misleading names are not allowed in our register, so we'll look at it and have it rectified.
So why did you allow it? How it's at a Mills Institute registered?
Respectfully, Honorable Chair, I'm not aware of it. I'll look at our system and then revert on it.
Madam, unfortunately, I have all the documents from your office. Nothing was followed. No rule, rhyme, or reason was followed. I just don't want to go into it because it may be a conflict of interest.
Chairman, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well noted, Honorable Chairman.
Madam, even though you've explained what happened in Kumasi, but I'm just interested in the costs to the state, or the loss to the state. You installed this particular system in two places, two different places, Kumasi and Accra. What did you do right in Accra that caused the Accra one to operate without any problem, but the Kumasi one had problems? What happened?
Respectfully, Honorable Chair, these were power fluctuation issues in Kumasi that we didn't have control over.
So you are saying that the power fluctuation is not in Accra? Is that the case? Practically?
Honorable Chair, it could happen in Accra. It didn't affect our machines in Accra. Now we've purchased the UPS for all the regions, not just Kumasi.
All right, thank you. You are discharged, madam.
Thank you, Honorable.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, madam. Hold on for a minute. I hear there's one more issue.
their records look very clean, and then it looked very positive. But looking at what we are doing here so far, there's a benchmark. You use the previous year, and then you look at the current year, and you strike the differences. That will tell you how best they are performing. But when you look at this one, it is only the 2023 outlook that was portrayed here. So how do we compare the 2022? So I'm throwing it to the auditors. Okay.
All right. Office of the Registrar of Companies, you are discharged. But stay tuned, you will hear from me.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Now let's call Economic and Organized Crime Office. Now, Yoko, where is the boss?
The boss is here. Which boss are you looking for? The Attorney General himself is here.
I'm sorry, the CEO.
The Deputy CEO is here.
Mr. AG, we just want to find out where the CEO is because under normal circumstances, it is the CEO that is supposed to attend upon you. You, with all your duties and your obligations, you have halted it to attend upon the committee, and we expect same from CEOs and heads of institutions. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I spoke to him this morning. He's otherwise engaged on a path of investigation under oral. Yes, he's doing oral investigations.
That is very important. This is also
extremely
equally important.
I do understand, Madam Chair.
And so next time, you should please place priority on Public Accounts Committee too, because that is also important.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will convey that message.
All right, Yoko, let's look at your financials. Okay. If you look at it, 2022, you had a surplus of 2.7 million, and 2023, a surplus of 3.1 million. And looking at your current ratio, 1.1 to 1, and in 2022, and another 1.1 to 1 in 2023. Okay, madam, go ahead with the few you have.
Please, I just want to know, what is grant in kind? Because it's listed under your income, grants in kind.
So thank you very much, Madam Chair. The grant in kind are those donations that are not monetary in nature. So if assets are donated to the office, if laptops are donated to the office, they didn't come in a form of money, but those are quantified and also recognized in the financial reports as income, because if it were not there, we're going to use money to buy them. And the current IPSAS, the International Public Sector Accounting Standards, makes this a requirement to recognize all those inflows as part of your revenue. And that is why it's there as grant in kind.
So then how do you place value on them? What process do you take, you go through to place value on these grants in kind?
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. There are those that come with the values attached, but those that come without the values, then we use the comparative market prices to value them. if they come in the form of assets like vehicle or computers, then they are also recognized in our fixed asset register, and then we depreciate them as well. Thank you very much.
And I also see other grants. What are other? I know the first grant is the budgetary allocation that comes from government. And so what is other grants, please?
So the other grants are support from other institutions that, bring in inflow for us to, carry out our operational activities.
What other institutions support you in your work?
So in 2023 in particular, we have support from the BOG and then Bankers Association. They bring in resources when we reach out, and then we're able to get those supports to be able to, run the office.
On what basis do you ask for support from Bank of Ghana and all the other agencies? I don't know. Maybe if other public boards are listening and they also need support, they can also go to Bank of Ghana and those other institutions for same. So on what basis do you go for support?
So we have an MOU with BOG. There are certain specific investigations or activities they want the office to support them to carry out. And so they support the office to provide the necessary tools that we will need to be able to.
So they are not grants, they are your internally generated funds. And it should be captured as such, auditors, because these are services that they provide, and then, like you said, BOG pays you for that. Yes.
Respectfully, they are not services that we provide. It's an understanding that we are giving you this support to support certain investigative activities. It's not something that is constant that you can say these are IGF. Because IGF goes through a certain process. But this one, you can't, beginning of the year, you cannot tell that this institution or that institution will be able to give you this support. So it's very difficult. But in the course of our activities, if there is the need for an institution like BOG or GRA or any other institution to give us support to carry out an activity, then we go on that tangent. So it's quite difficult to say these are IGF because there are processes that
when
IGF
you treat
goes
it this way, then it becomes difficult for government to capture the full revenue that you earn in a year. That if you treat it this way, because there should be some allocation that for the year 2025, you'll be receiving, say, 2 million, 3 million in other grants. But if you say you won't capture it at all, you wouldn't mention it at all, and then as in the course of the year, these monies come in, government will not be able to, because government in his books, in government's books, sorry, they have given you 39.7 million. But then there are other monies that come in. And you know that as part of the regulations, you cannot spend monies that you haven't, right, the auditors, you cannot spend monies that you haven't shown in your budget. When you go for the Ministry of Finance budget hearings, that is what they tell you. So if you are telling me that you don't want to capture it, it's not IGF, but yet you receive and then you spend, that is not the way to go, because as far as I know, as part of the budget management practices, you cannot spend monies that you haven't declared. And so that if you do not declare, you do not put anything under other grants, and then you spend, as far as I know, it is a breach of the financial regulation. So you may want to find out more and treat it as such.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Can I finish? And sir, please, I'd like to know your staff strength. I'm looking at your compensation, and I would like to know the staff strength before.
So, as at the 2023, we're about 406, 406 thereabout. 2023, because this is the 2023
yes.
Report. Yeah.
We were 406.
Yes.
And in 2022?
In 2022, due to retirement and so that figure should be around 430.
430.
430, yeah.
430 with 28.7 million in compensation, 406 with 38.6 million. And in 2023, I don't think government increased salaries more than, what was it? So the increment of 10 million is a bit on the high side. But you do investigative things, and I know that sometimes other benefits are put in place to help you carry out your mandate. So I'll leave it as such.
Yeah. Honorable Chair, the establishment of EOCO is actually 1,300. So in terms of human resources, they are under-resourced. And that is highly problematic, in terms of the investigations, that their investigative capacity around the country. They have, a deficit of 900, investigators and other staff to be able to function optimally. So this is, a problem that I think I should draw the committee's attention to, because I've raised it with the Minister of Finance. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. We would also include it in our report and ask the minister to assist, maybe have a plan. They cannot take all the 900 at once, but they should have a plan, a working plan that will help bring on board more people to enable you carry out your investigations as it's required of you. And please, what is social benefits? What goes into social benefits?
Thank you very much, Madam. So these are payments relating to medical, refunds that are paid to staff. And that's what we call social benefit. Thank you.
So all these things should go under compensation of employees because it's part of the benefits and salaries of employees.
The classification,
the social benefits, yes,
is social benefits. So
yes,
that takes care of medical,
Yes, and I'm saying that it should be part and parcel of compensation because there are benefits that accrue to an employee, and compensation includes the salaries and benefits of. And finally, I want to find out the specialized expenses. What exactly is that?
So those are special operational expenses. That is what is classified. In actual fact, these classifications are IPSAS approved classification. The government of Ghana accounts is provided by Controller Accountant General, is trying to, make the accounting system, uniform, so that if you pick any account and they are consolidating it, the line items can be matched so that they can have a proper government account. And so these line items are provided by Controller Accountant General based on the ISTA standards that have been provided to all the various institutions. And specialized expenditure is mostly for the security agencies who, engage in special operational activities. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you are not the only security agency we are looking at, but that wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying. Even if it's under compensation of employees, you can still explain in the notes to the accounts so that when you are looking at the total benefits of your employees, that will also be part of it. But I think on the whole, it's your current ratio is okay. It's 1.1:1, and I believe you should either maintain it or do better. But you can't come down. So on the whole, I think.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. I think our current ratio, our sources of funding to especially EOCO has been one of, an issue. If you look at the GOG, especially the goods and services, if you look at the government grant, compare it to compensation, then you will notice that the difference that's to take care of goods and services is just about under 2 million that GOG is providing. So we need that sustainable funding to be able to provide the necessary inflows that will guide our operational activity. Thank you very much.
Sustainable funding can also come in if you go through the right channel to set some parameters as your IGF collection. The support services you give to some of these agencies should be some source of proper IGF for you where you can capture, you come through maybe fees and charges, and then you establish the amounts that you ought to charge. And this can be some revenues and to also help support your activities. When it comes to working on fees and charges and its regulations, your minister is very good at it. I must say that when I was the deputy minister, he really supported me in bringing this fees and charges regulations to Parliament. And it was a success. So you are in good hands. You ask him, he will support you and make it happen.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson.
Madam Chair, I'm actually bringing a bill to Parliament. It's a new Economic and Organized Crime Office bill. And we'll deal with the issue of their, fees and charges and retentions in the bill. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, thank you for the opportunity. I think I asked this question particularly because it is, and I actually listened to the explanation that was given to the line item grant in kind. The amount for 2023, it's 490,000. Now, the explanation given by the witness indicated that this relates to things like computers or other items that may be donated to IOCO. IOCO being the entity that it is, my question, and this perhaps could be answered by the Attorney General himself, whether you think that ethically it is appropriate for IOCO to get things like grants in kind, apart from the income or grants that are approved for the entity at its source of income, whether it is ethically correct for IOCO to take in-kind support from the public. Thank you.
Madam Chairperson, I think that's a legitimate concern that has been raised by the honorable member. But if you look at the listed entities, for instance, Bank of Ghana, it's a government, it's part of the apparatus of state. IOCO does not receive such donations from private persons because of issues of conflict of interest. Okay? So, for instance, when I assumed office in February, one of the things that they came to brief me on was the fact that they did not have printers. We looked everywhere. We couldn't find money to buy the printers. So I bought printers out of my own funds for them. So yes, there were 6 heavy-duty printers that I bought for them out of my own funds. So there is no conflict, in this, because I want the entity to work efficiently, and that is why I had to make that donation. And Bank of Ghana has also been very, very supportive. So we don't take donations from entities that will generate conflict of interest as far as the mandate of EOCO is concerned.
Thank you.
All right. Now let's go to the infraction. It's on paragraph 886. Honorable Elekplem will take care of that one, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this infraction is an unearned salary to the tune of 25,648 cedis. Yeah, we noted that this gentleman in question, David Tete, an assistant staff officer of Bono Regional Office, breached the paragraph 7 of the appointment letter issued by IOCO to him. I quote, "If after probation, the confirmation, you wish to terminate your services with the office, you will be required to give the office 1 month notice or pay 1 month salary in lieu of notice." We also noted that this gentleman in question received 3 months of salary, August, September, October. whilst he was not at post. Can you give us an update of the recovery of the said amount of money? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. As was indicated, a member of staff separated from the office. He actually took his annual vacation leave, and while the leave was pending, he took the decision to separate. But through those processes, by the time we were expecting him to report and he didn't, then we needed to take the other steps. It took us a while to get a hold of him because he had apparently left the jurisdiction. However, we were able to get him to pay back the money which he paid in installments. And for that reason, we had to accumulate and ensure that we had received the full amount, which we subsequently transferred to the Auditor General's account. And to the Auditor General's recovery account as is required by law, because it's an issue which had come up and in the Auditor General's report, and we've gone through that process. So that information has been conveyed, Madam Chair.
Auditors, can you please confirm whether the said amount has been recovered?
Honorable Chair, the full amount has been recovered and same transferred into the Aegis Recoveries account. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Madam. What is so funny about this is when we talk to other ministries, agencies, departments, whenever there is an unearned salary, you ask them about the documents. Yoko has come for the documents. Yoko is working for them. And you, Yoko, you are also creating the same problem, unearned salary. So who is watching the watchman?
Honorable Chair, that is a very succinct question, which truly, that's why I sought to give a bit of a description. Sometimes things occur, and we have been trying to follow up on other agencies who have ended up with a similar situation to ours. But here's a situation where there wasn't any indication this man was not going to return from his annual vacation leave. In fact, it was subsequent to his separation that we found out that he wasn't even in the country. But as we have the Auditor General also watching us and our activities and drawing our attention to the things which would create issues, we are also making sure that we stay in line and are even more explicit in following through. So when an officer is now proceeding on leave, we ensure that we do the checks. If by the dates that they are required to respond, they haven't, we take measures to freeze the account. So funds would not go into the account until we get a verification that it's maybe for ill health or some other reason. So we will not have a situation where there's loss occasion to the state. Thank you.
So all this while, who was validating him?
Madam Chair.
Is the person still at post? If yes, I mean, he has to be investigated.
Thank you for the cue, Madam Chair. We'll take notes of that.
Please, I need some answers, please.
Madam Chair, the person is still at post. But it was when we found out that they had left the man had left the jurisdiction and was not even here in the country. The indication that was given was that a family member was ill, so he needed some time. But subsequently, we found out that he was not in the jurisdiction. And that's when we took the steps and started the recovery process. Thank you.
In fact, an office like Economic and Organized Crime Office shouldn't be, I mean, giving these answers. We expect more from you. Please. Thank you.
Madam, I have another serious thing with most of the ministries, departments, and agencies. When they come here, we ask them about documents that they should have presented to the auditors. Yoko has come for them. Now, Yoko comes for this without any evidence, any document, something to show that, yes, Yoko has come for your unpresented PVs or whatever it is, how should we treat this one? Don't you leave any documents at the institutions?
Madam Chair, thank you very much for the question. This is very important to us. And as an investigative institution, we do things by the book. Whenever we have to engage any agency or any persons in the course of our investigation, and we require documentation from them, we actually write to them. That's the first thing. In the event that it is in the process of carrying out a search where we go with a suspect and we go to the location, in the course of the search, we discover certain documents. We document each one and ensure that the person signs off to what we have received while our officers also sign off. So that document is available to them and a copy with us. If anybody comes here before you, Honorable Chair, and they give an indication that their documents have been taken and have not been returned by EOCO, I'm sure that they should be able to provide a list or that indication of what documents were collected at what time. And once we are done with what is needful, we return the document to them also under cover of a letter. So I think that you should be able to inquire from them the date and the time and the circumstances under which those documents were retrieved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. You are discharged. Now let's call Ghana General Legal Counsel.
Madam Chair, the General Legal Counsel is not here, and I had discussions with them this morning.
Yes, sir.
Apparently, the documents that are that relate to this matter are yet to be laid before the council by the Director of Legal Education, who is still, he just took office somewhere in September. So.
All right, sir.
So you can give us another date to appear before you in respect of that matter.
Yes.
In other words, I'm seeking for an adjournment.
I'm sorry. All right, sir. Attorney General, thank you so much coming to Public Accounts Committee, even though you have such a hectic schedule, and you are discharged.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee.
Honorable Minister, we will communicate to you the next available date. Thank you so much for attending upon us.
Now let's call Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology. We'll start with our National Biosafety. I'm sorry. Let's call PPA, please.
Swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, please introduce yourself to the committee.
Good afternoon, Chairman. My name is Frank Manti. I'm the CEO of the Public Procurement Authority. I'm here with my colleagues. I'll kindly ask that they introduce themselves.
Chairman, I'm Theophilus Tetechai, the acting deputy CEO in charge of finance and administration.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. My name is Clement Ousufojo. I'm the Director for Policy, Planning and Research at the Public Procurement Authority. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. My name is Fred Ali, Deputy Director, Finance.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. My name is Ebenezer Kwawahanelabi, Head of Finance, PPA.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Kwame Adobafo, the Head of Internal Audit.
All right, I will start off with your financial performance. Government subvention between 2022 and 2023, it went up over 136%. What accounted for that?
The Chairman, I'll cede for my Head of Finance to respond to this, please.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. So in 2022, our finances were not, the finances were not too good. So we had a lot of arrears. And in 2023, we were so fortunate to have been given enough just to clear our arrears. And that is how come our releases in 2023 went up. Additionally, the IGF for 2023 also increased because we were given the approval, I think somewhere middle of 2022 to start collecting some IGF on supply registration. So if you look at 2022 figures, were not good because it was towards the end of the period. But in 2023, because we had a full year, you realize that there was an increase in our IGF collections. Thank you.
What are these grants and other income?
Grants and other income is the releases that are given based on our budget, the budget that is approved by the Ministry of Finance, and it's made up of our goods and services and compensation.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's done with that one. Looking at your financial position. Looking at our financial position over here, it went from 0.1 to 1 to 3.1 to 1. Wow. It means you are doing very well out there. You can take care of your short-term obligations. Now, the current assets, that went from 461,000 to 2.6 million. What happened?
That's it. So current assets also increased because, like I indicated earlier, Honorable Chair, A year earlier, we had financial issues because our finances were not good. So in 2023, we had, because our finances increased a bit, we were able to procure some of the materials and items we needed to enhance our operations.
Does it have any connection with your current liabilities from 3.8 million to 845,000?
Yeah, so that is why, that explains for the reduction in our current liabilities, because in the previous year, we were actually not able, so we had a lot of arrears, and that was taken care of in 2023 when financials were better.
Okay, let's go to management infractions. And it's paragraph 1578. And Honorable Yeboah will take care of that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That is about staff advances that amounted to 82,310. And 10 employees took salary advance to the tune of 82,309. And the auditors recommended that management should take steps to recover. As at that time, you had collected 17,166 out of the 82,000. So what's the current status now?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. As we speak, in fact, before the 2024 financial audit was completed, we had finished collecting all these monies, and same had been lodged into the appropriate accounts. So no staff owes anything as we speak now.
So auditors, can you confirm, please?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm an amount of 81,309.73 to have been recovered. But there is an outstanding 1,000 in the name of Francis Bedu, who is deceased. So we'll need a guidance of the committee on this.
The deceased person, doesn't he have any family members to pay? Look, you guys went to the funeral, right? When the guy died. Huh?
Honorable Chair, yes, we did.
How much of contribution did you give to the deceased family? The family?
Well, per our policy is, at the time it was 1,000 cedis.
1,000 cedis.
Yeah, at the time it was 1,000 cedis that we donated to a deceased staff, if a deceased staff passed.
And you guys couldn't contribute another 1,000 cedis to pay for his unearned salary?
Honorable Chair, like I indicated, this has been cleared, but at the time the auditors came, we had not. So that is why it was captured.
So 1,000 cedis. So you've paid that one?
Honorable Chair, please, you have done that.
As somebody passes away, you go there, you eat, you drink, and then you pay just 1,000 cedis. Abba! Then stay home and then just send 1,000 cedis. Yes, sir. All right.
Finance Director, please, what are the steps being put in place so that this doesn't reoccur in future? And what are the steps you've put in place? Because salary advance is going to come on board.
Right.
So what are the steps?
Who are actually, like maybe somebody who is who is working and he needed money and he has applied for a loan to be given and they refused to pay. No, it happened because at the time when we were engaged, it took some time for controller to actually migrate to or finish processing your things onto the controller system. And you realize somebody will be coming to work, he has been engaged more than 3, 4, 6 months, he's not in process, and it becomes very difficult. So as an institution, you couldn't just look on. We needed to support the person, so we gave them some money that when controller pays them, then these monies are refunded. Unfortunately, most of them, in fact, these people involved, when they were paid, their full salary was, at the time, if you can recall, government came out with a policy that only 3 months of back pay will be given. So some of them who had worked for more than 6, 7, 8 months, some of them even more than 11 months, received only 3 months. Now, where were they going to get the monies to pay? So it became an issue. But we needed to collect these monies anyway, and that is how come it dragged. In any case, for now, such a situation does not exist.
If you have cleared it, I think it's fine.
Thank you.
Yes. We are grateful that you have cleared. All we're saying is that make sure it doesn't happen again. Thank you. Yeah.
PPA, you are discharged. Now let's call PURC. You have just one staff. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Good afternoon. We have the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. I'm here with, I'm Shafiq Suleiman, the Acting Executive Secretary. And I'm here with...
So I'm Wallace Yodu, Director of Finance and Admin, PURC.
Judith Adibo Kamaujo, Head of Finance.
Barbara Fletcher, Legal Manager.
Deputy Director, Water.
Right, Honorable Enim will take care of your financials.
Thank you, Chair. PURC, so we are considering your financial performance.
Phone off, please. Hold on, please. You guys haven't taken the oath, have you? You haven't. All right, now you may want to take the oath before you answer questions.
I swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, now go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair. So PURC, we are taking your financial performance. So your income, your regulatory income went up by about 46%. What accounted for this increase?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. So our regulatory income is coming from a levy on electricity transmitted and then gas transmitted. So it depends on the volume of gas transmitted and then the electricity transmitted. So what it meant was that in 2023, we had more electricity being transmitted. Because of the demand, there's always a demand on electricity demand. So that's what accounted for that. Thank you.
Then for your non-regulatory income too, it also shot up by 66%.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. So the non-regulatory income is coming from exchange gain. Our levy on gas transmitted, we do the calculation on USD. It's 0.2 pesos per standard cubic feet of gas transmitted. So in 2023, there was the exchange depreciation of the Ghana cedi. So at the end of the year, we do the revaluation, and then that's why it's shot up. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. On your expenditures, I can see that your personal cost went up by about 35. Was there recruitment or it was just increase in emoluments?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. So there was an increase in emoluments to catch up with inflation. Then aside that also, we added on to the staff strength. So there are about 19 staff that we added on. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll just take your financial position. Your ratio has improved, and that shows prudent management. So I think at this point, Chair,
Please feel free. Let him ask. My name is.
Yeah, Peter, thank you. You are here. And when you look at utility companies, especially ECG, they use a lot of resources in even over the bar, where the budget approved for them. This year, for instance, the audited account, they shot up about 180 million Ghana cedis. And if such institutions come to your outfit for increase in tariff, do you look at these things?
Okay, thank you very much. Usually what happens is that every 3 years, the PURC undertake what we call a MITO, a multi-year tariff order. And all the institutions are required to submit, including ECG, their regulated asset base for re-evaluation and then using it as a base to do the quarterly tariff adjustment. So this year, for instance, we started the process and ECG submitted their asset, we evaluated it, and we are using it as a base to actually regulate their assets. So going forward, it's the beginning of the year. Going forward, we'll be looking at their asset base and we'll be making sure that whatever asset they've submitted going forward will not be inflated or will not be seeing any infractions with their expenditure.
Go ahead.
It's not just their assets, but the efficient use of their resources. That is also important. When you look at those things, I think it will help you make a better decision as to when to bring in the tariffs, or they themselves, you rein in on them to clean their books, clean their houses, and clean their books, and make sure they save enough so as not to pass on the inefficiency to consumers.
Okay, thank you. So we use multiple benchmarks actually as a base to regulate them. Some of the infractions, we try as much as possible to go after them to ensure that they don't go overboard. But you see, some of them are also, they sometimes go overboard, and that requires collective, all of us to take responsibility and ensure that they don't overspend. So we usually compare them with the benchmarks, and we issue regulatory orders to them to ensure that they go by the order. I mean, once in a while they comply, but other times too, we have challenges with.
You see, if I keep you here, we have a lot of questions to ask PURC, but just a lot of people behind you. You are discharged. Now, let's call Minister of Environment and Science and Technology.
Chair, you've done well for us. You've done very well for us. Minister. Minister is one of us.
Yes.
Minister is one of us.
Oh, but you know.
We can do that.
Let's call National Biosafety Authority. Are you here? Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Honorable Chair, my name is Kwame Day Asamoah Ochre. I'm the CEO for the National Biosafety Authority.
Hold on, where's your minister?
He's coming. He stepped out.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. My name is Asimene William, Head of Account.
National Biosafety Authority, what do you do?
The National Biosafety Authority is a regulatory institution, and we regulate the development, transportation, handling, and use of genetically modified organisms, popularly known as the GMOs.
Let's look at your financials. Where do you get these grants from?
Honorable Chair, we get the funds from GOG. And then we do have some IGF.
No,
as well.
grants. You get them from
Grants,
GOG.
yes, GOG.
And the same way you get your non-tax revenue.
Our non-tax revenue is the IGF that we generate.
Where do you get this IGF from?
So as a regulator, we issue approvals and permits. We work mainly in research and development for the products that we regulate. So we have research institutions, they come in for permits to enable them to undertake research and development work.
There's not much over here for us to talk about your financials. Okay.
Respectfully, are you at the airports?
Honorable Chair, we are not at the airports yet. It's,
Why? Because I know in other countries, you have experts like you at the airport, and you are not supposed to bring certain things, certain organisms into the country. That's why I asked if you are at the airport to check some of these things that come in. Because these days, people bring in all kinds of things, and it's affecting our own vegetation and our own plants and our own organisms.
Yes. You are absolutely correct, Honorable Chair. So what we've done this year is we've written to the Customs Division to get us onto the ICOMS. As we know now, there are only 3 agencies that are allowed in the ports, so we are unable to find place in the port. The late minister was making efforts to find us space at the airport and at Tema as well. So currently we are getting ourselves onto the ICOMS, and with the HS codes that have been agreed on, that would mean that any organism or anything that we regulate that is coming into the country, importers would have to come for permits from us to bring them in.
All right, sir, you are discharged.
Thank you.
Now, let's go to Nuclear Regulatory Authority. And it's on paragraph 1399. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Yes, the name, I'm Professor Francis Otu, acting Director General, Nuclear Regulatory Authority. Professor Francis Otu, acting Director General, Nuclear Regulatory Authority.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members. My name is Augustine Fanu, the Deputy Director General.
Honorable Chairman, I am James Kofi, Acting Director of Finance and Administration.
Honorable Chair, Mary Senanu, Head of Finance, Acting.
Did you take the oath to tell the truth?
Yes.
All right.
No, they said no.
Who said no? You haven't? Okay, then.
No.
Clerk, swear them in.
I swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
So, Nuclear Regulatory Authority, what do you do?
We issue permits, license for any industry in Ghana to use radiation, or which nuclear material, which is the application involve an aspect of nuclear applications. Yes, What I'm saying is that NICRA Regulatory Authority will issue permit and license to any institution, including government institution, which uses radiation sources. For example, hospital uses an X-ray. If you go to mining, they also have a nuclear gauges. If you go to oil and gas, they also use radiation sources for exploration. And if you go to road construction, they also use for moisture and thickness of the road. So we issue them a permit and license before they can use.
So, Chair, thanks for the opportunity. Prof, so apart from issuing licenses, what else do you do? Do you have any management? Do you have any research contribution to developing the sector? How do you regulate anything apart from issuing licenses?
Actually, NRA, how it was established, from research-based, organized before we moved to establish the Nuclear Regulatory Authority. So we are also doing a lot of researches to support our input. Actually, we even wanted to move into the environment where we have done a lot of research, including myself, of which we need to have to regulate the radiation sources, which is coming as a result of some practice, especially underground mining, and where environment has been disturbed, quarries and others. We have put in place that if things go somewhere, of which we are here to submit our regulation, probably by end of this year, to the permit for the approval. When we have that go ahead, then we're also going to enter into an area which is different from where we are in now. Thank you.
All right, Honorable Bar, you take care of the financial statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to. I've looked at the statement and I want to find out from Prof. There's had interest income. What is interest income on your accounts?
Yes, I'll refer the question to my acting head of finance. Thank you.
Hello, Chair. I think there was classification error. That's our IGF. So we have two sources of funds, the GOG and the non-tax revenue, the IGF. But when they were writing it, they indicated interest income. The auditors, it was written as interest income in their report, but it's our IGF.
Auditors, is that the IGF or you have another narration to it?
Honorable Chair, it should be the IGF. But we'll have to confirm that. But it's from what I'm getting from the team, it's IGF in the detailed account.
So that's why I'm just looking at it, because if you look at the quantum drop is about, the difference is about 3.4 million. So what did you do differently to have such a quantum drop in your IGF?
So in September 2022, our fees and charges were revised. So we had an increment in the collections.
Understandable. But looking at you recorded 1,147,829 surplus, as compared to the previous year's surplus of 206 million recorded in 2022. Represent yeah. So what accounted for that?
Honorable Chair, the increment in the income resulted in the bottom line, which is the surplus, increasing by that percentage.
Okay. But overall, if you look at your current ratio, it declined. However, you'll be able to meet your short-term obligations when they fall due, but you need to at least be able to up it. I'm just looking at from the fact that your IGF, you were able to double or triple your IGF. Your ratio shouldn't come down again like this.
Yes, so noted. But ideally, the industry standard for the current assets is 2:1 or 1.5:1. But we are doing about 43.1.
Yes, we know that.
So.
If you are doing well, it doesn't mean that you should retrogress.
Okay.
If you are doing well, it doesn't mean that you should retrogress. You understand? You are doing well. Why are you retrogressing? So if you keep on retrogressing, you come to a level that will not be sustainable.
Well, Honorable, what it means is the money sitting out there, they are now using it. Yes.
Okay. And what are you using it for? Can you walk us through what you use it for?
You're using it for operational activities. Yes, because they go around doing inspections and all of that. So the money that is set unutilized.
Mr. Chairman, that will be okay for me.
All right. Nuclear Regulatory Authority, you are discharged. Now let's call Environment Protection Agency. Did you guys take the oath? Okay, please introduce yourself to the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm Dr. Jacob Parachuga Nankwari, Deputy CEO in charge of General Services.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm Dr. Osman Haruna Chinibua, the Director of Finance of EPA. Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm the Dr. Osman Haruna Chinibua, Director of Finance of EPA, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Musa Yakubu, the Internal Auditor. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Please, did you say you are Dr. Haruna Chinibua? Oh, okay.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Professor Michael Ayamga. I'm the Deputy CEO in charge of operations.
Thank you very much. Respectfully, where's your CEO?
Chair, the CEO is not in the country. She's gone on official assignments, and so she's asked her two able deputy CEOs to come in. I mean, unless you want to see her face, whatever information you want, these two